Oh. Oh. And away we go. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing out there? I see we've got everybody. Princess is here. Hello, everybody. Moon Runes, the princess. To you. Oh, thank you, Ghostly. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Happy. uh. Oh, I do? Okay. All right. I will check the message. Yes, thank you, Moon. Yeah, I was hoping that playing the Evangelion music would clue everybody off. It's the closest I have to a Halloween costume. It's very special. I feel very special. This is gonna. I don't know how long this is gonna last, everybody. It's cool outside, but this is very warm, and it's very silly. So we're gonna see how long this lasts before I die of overheating. I also never get to wear it, so. Oh, what is this? Twilight is not that kind of stream. There's clothing underneath. We're not doing that kind of stream. This is not doing OnlyFans. But how is everybody? How's everybody? Oh, Cryptid, what is it? Oh, from all of us on. Oh, thank you. This is delightful. Oh. Oh, yes, I love it. The bats, the Halloween, the starry vibe. Um, Tord is going. Oh, thank you, Opera Soria. Thank you, thank you, and thank you so much for all the birthday well wishes, everybody. Thank you so much. Scroll. Okay. Oh, oh my God! It's a whole card. What are you all doing? Oh. Okay. Yeah, everybody has to keep telling me to scroll. Okay, sorry, I got cookies. Hold on, let me bring this up. Ah, all right. Oh God, Ghostly. I already see the Virgil. All right. Hello, Princess. Hi. All right, Pawn Boys. Oh, happy birthday, Twilight. May this next year bring you endless inspiration, unforgettable stories, and of course more princess screams. Well, she's starting off strong. Here's to more chill writing streams and unforgettable films. Keep writing your words are a gift to keep writing your words are a gift to us all. Hope they have a one. Oh, thank you, Moon Runes. Have a wonderful birthday. Thank you so much. Oh, you are too kind. Oh, I like the Pawn Boys and the Princess Scream. Yes, the Princess Scream needs to be everywhere. Oh, yay! I hope that's Piper. I hope the black cat right there is Piper. I'm hoping that's Piper. Oh, that's probably is that the golden boy sleeping in the back? All right. I just see the Virgils. The Virgils. Yes, the orange sun, indeed. A very happy birthday to the best indie filmmaker, screenwriter friend who happens to like toxic relationships and Dune, who moonlights as a capitalist pig. Congrats on another year. You look good for a fossil. Thank you so much, Ghostly. May that glorious stash outlive us all. If I can get to the Nietzsche level, it might. It might just make it work. Your work is pretty decent too. Oh, thanks. Oh, that is pretty decent is what I'm going for. So thank you. I guess you made some cool things over the past year. Cough, cough, Virgil. You even won an award. That's pretty rad. You did all right, kid. You make some knee slapper art. And from what this ghost has seen, you're a decent chap too. Keep it up. You better put the love of my life on the big screen, or I will haunt your kitchen cabinets. Also, that autobiography. Yeah, ain't none of us forgotten about. Oh man, yeah. You all keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up, but with some sense of sincerity. Happy birthday, Twilight. Love you, Crypt Keeper. Thank you. uh, Someday, I hope I'm still streaming when I look like the Crypt Keeper, because then I can actually do the sit up and the cackle. Oh, thank you, Ghostly. That is very kind of you. It cries, Ghostly. Virgil. Oh, goodness gracious me. First off, there we go. First off, proud of you for taking the week off. Yep. Uh, you need a goddamn break and to give yourself some grace and rest. You work so goddamn hard for yourself, for your art, and for all us weirdos. Thank you for curating a space that has been, and continue that has been and continues to be so kind and welcoming. You're all relentless push. You're all the relentless push that keeps me going even on my worst days. I'm so grateful to have met you, and it's an honor and a privilege to know you. You make us all better people just by being yourself. I hope that award reminds you daily just how goddamn talented and worthy you are of success. Can't wait to see what you do next, your friendly local cryptid. Aw, thank you, cryptid. And that's all of us. We all do that. We all do that. I know. She's really going for it. She knew I was streaming, and she's like, she was going. She immediately. I think once the onesie went on, she realized some shit was going down. Hi, yes, hello. Thank you, Cryptid. That is to all of us. We all make this a lovely, lovely place to all be creative and supportive of each other. So that is everybody. Hey, do what you want, Rem Space. Oh, 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 this is killing me. This is killing me. You're all pulling from my work. Ugh, it's choking me up a little bit. Got Pawn Boys. We got Rem Space deep diving. I'm so into it. I love it. I am beyond proud of you. Your dedication to and love for your craft motivates me to continue working on myself, not just professionally, but also personally, to continue being able to celebrate the many number of awards you've yet to win with you and amazing community of folks who've joined this cozy, only sometimes besieged by bots and literally no toxic little shits with terrible interpersonal relationship skills. Knock on wood, little corner of the internet. Thank you. And I know exactly who that is. Thank you, Opera Soria. Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Well, you're a fantastic writer, friend, and human being with a very classy mustache. From Rune to you, you may have a blast knowing how influential and kind you are. You have built an amazing community just because you are just that amazing, that talented, and amazing. Oh, thank you so much, Rune Wolf. You are too kind. Happy birthday. You are killing me. Oh, Oizel. We are so proud of you for everything you've accomplished, Twilight. Thank you for the wonderful community and for being the best writerly streamer we could have ever asked for. Knowing you for the last year has been a highlight of my life, and I look forward to more words with you and the fam in the years to come. Thank you for being amazing, and have a fantastic birthday. Oh, shit, you guys. Jeez. Oh. This was too much. This is too sweet. Thank you. All of you. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you're choking me up a little bit, guys. Jesus. Oh. You didn't have to do all this. I'm never streaming on my birthday ever again. Ever again. Oh, thank you. Oh. There's a special hidden thing. Oh, is that okay? Is that the 0010111? Okay. Oh god. I don't know how to crack this. I don't know how to crack binary Opera Soria. Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, this is kill. Of course I did. I have your pitch decks. That's true. You do have my pitch deck. So but thank you for putting Rem Space in there. Salutes. I had to fight through 2 migraines to finish it, but we got there. Thank you so much, Cryptid. But you also rest too. Please, for the love of God, rest. I'm only crying a little. Just a little bit. You're loved, Crazy. Clearly. It's too much, though. Oh, thank you, Oizel. No, is that a clue? Oh, God. Oh, God, what have you done to me, Opera Soria? What? Okay. Okay, 001, I don't know. Okay. Is this like one of those like cryptology things where like these are the keys and I have to pull a letter associated with a thing? Oh my god. God damn it, Opera Soria. You know it's gonna take me like months to solve this. And knowing you probably did like somehow code it. Nope. Okay. I have no idea. Okay, are these all the same number? Good lord. Good lord. Is it probably? It's probably you. Is it you yelling at me? I'm sure it's you yelling at me about something. And I'm gonna feel very stupid when you explain it to me. I know, right? What sorcery is this? You write a code in binary. How am I supposed to figure this out? Okay. I do not. I do. Wait. Hold on. Honestly, I figured you'd just run the binary through an online translator. Okay. Well, I didn't even realize there was an online translator. Binary, that's what I'm doing. Alright, I'm cheating, everybody. We're cheating. Wait, where did Discord go? Why did Discord go away? Oh, there we go. Wait, not this. No, wait, Canva. There we go. Alright. See, that's how little I know. Alright, let's see. Convert. Is that just a tort 0? Is that tort 0? It's oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Honestly, funny thing is you technically do know what it says, Twilight. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Is it it's tort 0? Oh god. Is tort how much do I want to bet that wait. Okay. Wait. Is that what it says? Towards 0? Okay. Oh, god damn it. Yep. 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 I bet that's for Ghostly. That's out there for Ghostly. Yep. That tracks. That tracks. All right. All right, you monsters. You monsters of kindness. Good lord. Well, thank you so much. And it's all this community nonsense. Remember that this community is all of you. And I'm a dirty lefty. So, it's all thanks to you that this has become a delightful thing. The only reason I'm still doing it is because all of you are awesome. So, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago. So, the only remind me later. And I'm a dirty lefty. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's okay. Apparently that's just gonna freak out. Actually, they did that without Ghostly's input. Opera did that on their own. Yeah, yeah. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked that Opera did that on their own. I'm sure. You know, I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that they didn't pick the other most embarrassing one. But the toxic relationships one is a good one. That's a good one to start with. For sure. For sure. Hey, Rune Wolf. Happy Intentional Imperator Twilight Day. International. Thank you so much, Rune Wolf. I decided everyone was being too nice. Yeah, Ghostly. Yeah, I appreciate it, Ghostly. You gotta take me. You can't let me get too high on it. Hello, the words in the message that have capital letters, the words strung together. Oh, is that how you... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. I love... God damn it. Yep, and then we go down to toxic relationship. You clever son of a bitch. That is really good. That is really good. That's really good, Opera Soria. Well done. Well done. Oh, that's so good. That's really good. That's so good. Oh, shit. Ugh. There's only one I in the hold, and that was quite difficult. I mean, that's hiding those codes is difficult, and you flipping Wozard. Yes, Wozard. Yes, Ghostly. Always commit. Always commit to it. Oh man. All right. I have to save this. This has to go in the bundle with just all the things that I have to look at when I feel sad that'll make me cry. Is there a way to export this as like a PDF or some way I can save it? Because I gotta save this. Yeah, just so you know, this will definitely go into the folder of things that Wildlight pulls out when Wildlight's just staring at the ceiling, feeling miserable. Top left, okay. Okay. Bam! No! No, I do not. How dare you? Ugh, God. Alright. Fine. I actually think I do have an account with Canva. There we go. Alright, okay. Let me download it. Let me download. Something went wrong. Please try again. Oh, don't make me fight with you, Canva. I will fight with you over this. Alright, you might need to, because apparently... Wait. Apparently it's being a jerk. That's fine. We call that smile file, aka Balm of Delight. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I might if you're able to, Cryptid, I will absolutely appreciate that if you can. Wait, I can print this? Oh, I'd probably PDF it. I don't have a color printer. But all right. We now that we got all this out of the way, before I continue to cry, let's talk about everybody else. Let's talk about everybody else that's not me. When Cryptid said, "Hey, sign Wildlight's card," Ghostly thought, "Yes, sign." That's why it's written on. Then Cryptid had to come back and be like, "Hey, Ghostly, you can actually write something." Oh, that's funny. Ghostly, I'm not finished. You know, you call me the Crypt Keeper, Ghostly, but I'm not gonna lie. You, in terms of your ability to function with technology, you might actually be worse than me. And I'm bad. You followed direction to a T and cannot fault you for that. That's true. Yeah, you took it literally. Well, because if you don't do it on the computer, you're naturally gonna. That's how you do it. Ugh. Ugh, this is too much. Oh. I like the little. Oh, we got it. Yep, we got a little cryptid back there. Got the cryptid. I think that's supposed to be Mothman, right? That looks like Mothman. Oh. Ugh. Too much. And after Moon Runes doing the princess and the spooky story written by Ghostly. I'm not gonna lie, Ghostly, that story you wrote, I was like, I could see that as like a creepy short film too. I could definitely see that as a really, really disturbing short film about a person dragging like ever increasing creatures into a pond. I was like I was kind of like storyboarding it in my head. I was like, that could be a creepy like bayou film. How you'd be able to film it practically, I don't know. Wait, let's see. No, yeah, it will not let me download. All right, well, that's fine. Oh. Do. Whoa! What the fuck? Ooh, shit. Ghostly, what are you doing? You made me a Lone Star. Oh, shit. Ghostly, you made me Lone Star fucking promos? I was expecting, like, you know, like pseudo-fascist, like, you know, stream promos. Oh, shit. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love that. That last one is great, Ghostly. That's exactly, yeah, like the reflection in the water. Jesus, that's just like from the script. Hey, Nell, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, go to share and it lets you. Oh, got you. Okay, I'll have it. Oh, got you. Oh yeah, no, it really does not like me, I guess. Oh, thank you, Nell. Oh, well, Ghost. That's so sweet. The constant. Oh, and you even quoted got the song quote that I have at the front of the script in there. Oh, I really like that. The backgrounds and the way that you matted these together is great, Ghostly. Uh, oh, of course, Cryptid. Yes, yes. Obviously, no one needs to be here, but thank you. I obviously after all that craziness. But yeah, go do dinner. Go do dinner. You know, we'll be around. We'll be here for a little while. Of course, Rune Wolf, lurk, 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 lurk. You miracle maxed it. Proud of Ghost. Yeah, this is incredible, Ghostly. Uh, let me download. Let me see if I can down. I should be able to download these. That yeah, that I spent the puddle one right. It looks really good, Ghostly. That one, that's almost exactly how I saw it in my mind too. So well done. How do I? Someday I'll figure out Discord. Oh, there we go. Save image. I'm. Yes, save. Oh, I see it. There we go. You don't have to ask me for every one. Bam! There we go. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Cryptid. There we go. Got it. Haha. As a PDF. Perfect. Thank you. That moon, that red moon, and the rest of the sky are two different images. I missed. Yeah, and then airbrush the clouds red. That's. I mean, you did a great job with all the red tinting for sure. Um, and the wait, let me see if I can bring these up. Do you want them shown, Ghostly? I don't know if you were like if you don't want them on stream. Um. Okay. Zoom in. I don't care, man. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's exactly. Yeah, the puddles, the whole puddle thing. That's exactly how I made it. That looks great. The mat on the image is good. That's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, that like this is really not an easy thing to do to like make it clean and try to like make it work like you're actually particularly around rock and gravel like that. That is not easy. But and then Ghostly made a poster. I guess I have to restart Lone Star. I mean I've had some ideas for it. I guess I got hi princess. Hi. Yeah, this is great. Text is good. Yeah, the poster's fantastic and then my I really like this one too because you put the song quote that I have at the front of the script. Um with the cowboy riding through the desert with the star. That is great, Ghostly. I am a big fan. Thank you. I labored over this. It's really good. It's really good, Ghostly. All right. All right. The head is kind of Ava Unit 1 is losing its head cuz it's too much. All right, there we go. It's very gunslinger vibes. Yeah. Yeah, it's the script kind of has a little bit of the gunslinger vibes for sure. I was inspired by Red Dead pop art for the last one. Oh, that's a good point. Hi. Yes, hello. Hi. Hi. Um is it like yeah, Red Dead Red is that a type or are you talking about like Red Dead Redemption? Because that like pop art from the game. Cuz that's a happy to make fan art. You did a great job, Ghostly. Yeah, the game. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's very well done. And I love the way you mat the desert up to the sky is so cool. That's like my jam. for a long time I wanted to do mattes with like ink tank cloud effects and just like hard matte it to like a landscape like this. Um, like one of my favorite movies, The Visitor, does that at the very beginning, where they like create cloud effects and just hard matte it onto like the location like this, like the way you did it with the stars. That's like a lot of times if I'm like doing surreal sky effects, this is a lot like how I'm visualizing it. Very impressionistic or expressionistic and not very like realistic. So seriously, you ever need promotional art? Ghostly is paid in Tort coins. Oh, that's right, Ghostly. You're poor now. Ghostly's offering services, offering promo art services to everybody for Tort coins. So if anybody out there needs art, you can pay Ghostly in Tort coins. The cowboy at the bottom is Virgil, so you know. uh don't worry, it's gonna earworm. It's gonna worm into my brain, Ghostly. Someday you are gonna get there will be a Virgil that will live and be iconic and have a life of lives. I promise, because eventually it will. Eventually it will. Oh, give them now extend a break. The whole stream is a break. Is a whole break. Luckily, so there's no need to extend the breaks. Because unless there's no sprints, no riding sprints. Today. Oh, you're being cheeky. Hey, that works too. Oh yeah, and I'll send you the Discord thing. Nell. I know. Here. I think this Discord command is updated. There you go. Because I know you were asking for that earlier, so that link should get them there. Tort does Tort have a completely separate currency system? I will continue to nag. Okay, yeah. I think this is the one you made, Opera. It should be permanent then, because I know the one on the banner is outdated. Ugh. Wait, let me get back to my wait. Ah. All right. Oh, do I have to bring this all over here? Oh, maybe I do. Okay. I was like, where did my Twitch panel go? Okay. Ah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Bam. There you go. I could send that 1,000 Tort coins to Ghostly. Ghostly started on Pawn Boys, but that one was much harder. Oh, like for a poster, like a design. Yeah, that one. I can see how that one might be a little tricky. That one might be more. Let's see here. Like the van. It's definitely like got like a fried hazy vibe. Yeah. I could not. Yeah, it's definitely like California coast hazy vibe. It's kind of what, or like there was a particular filter on Instagram way back when Instagram first came out that was always it's not good, but it was always trying to get that vibe, that sort of like very California sunny. Let's see, dreamy haze. There was a very, it was kind of like sepia, but sepia sometimes tinted old, so that's sepia sometimes like goes like an old kind of film stock that has like a mono color to it. It wasn't sepia, but it's similar to sepia. Oh, no worries, Oizel. Driving home and didn't want to text and die. Do not do that. Please do not text. Do not be active in chat while driving. Let's see. I am really trying to remember. Let me look these up. Was it? It might have been Jefe. It might have been Jefe or Valencia. I can't remember which one. I'm literally looking up the old Instagram filters. Ghostly would like to make a fan posters for the script she reads. Script she read. Someday she will get to them all. That's impressive, Ghostly. I mean, I will not complain because that is. I mean, that's kind of, in a way, it's kind of what I tried to do with the pitch decks. Like, the pitch decks are in a way, kind of like posters. Back in 20, Ghostly, you're in charge of my, or back in 20, Ghostly, yes, Ghostly's got mod powers now. But I see what you were trying, yeah, kind of what you're going for, Ghostly, and that is harder. That is much harder. Honestly, it's kind of like a, uh, it's really just trying to get like capture like a very Super 8 16mm vibe of California, like sun beach coast type stuff. Um, that friend I invited recently got into filming. Oh, cool! Filming work as a translator. And it took me back to my uni days where we did a few long forgotten projects. It's funny, I'd forgotten I'd done them until this afternoon. Oh, really? That's awesome, Nell. That's hell yeah, fantastic. That's, I mean, sometimes some of those old short films are definitely a good time. Uh, but anyway, but I love these, Ghostly. I will hire you to make these all the time and pay you in tort coins. Also, Ghostly has always been inspired by fan art, so she might not so subtly be nudging some hints. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Virgil, Virgil. I'll pay you. I'll pay you some tort coins. I'll pay you in tort coins to make me some art. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I know. I'll get to that. Technically, first on the list is more emotes from with Moon Runes. That's the first thing that I have to take care of art wise. Is there's more emotes. There's more of that stuff that I gotta get squared away, and then once that's done, then I'll start commissioning other pieces of art. Just tell me what he looks like, and I'll draw you Virgil, Ghostly. Oh yeah, it's true. Moon Runes. Moon Runes is like, I got it. And Moon Runes is like the resident, genius artist. So there you go. There you go. I also found out how cheap pesos are compared to the US dollar and the Great British Pound, and it was a real eye opener. Yeah, Nell, yes. I spent a lot of my youth in Mexico in the summers, so I learned very quickly um, how cheap things could be down in Mexico. Ghostly's Virgil in her head or Wilight's? Oh, that's interesting. I'm very curious what the Virgil in Ghostly's head looks like compared to the one described in the script. What is my character description for Virgil? Let me. I'm actually trying to. I have to go back and see. Ghostly's Virgil is hot Squidward. That's funny. That's funny. Ghostly's, or I can do both together. Ghostly, absolutely not Squidward. That's a very deep pull. Like all of a sudden, just it's a sea creature for some reason. Where is my script deck? I completely forgot how I described Virgil in the script. Um, okay, I think it's in scripts. Okay. It's been a minute. It has been a minute since I have looked at you. Let's see here. All right, let me see here really quick. I'm very curious how I describe Virgil. Oh, there we go. Virgil, all right, 20s, African American, plays the harmonica while tending his boots and rubbing his feet. He's got all the suave and smarts a young man could hope for, almost which always get him in trouble. Okay, I don't give you a lot of physical description. He's a young rancher. And I believe, yeah, he's a young rancher. Do I have him as a flank rider? Or he might be point. I think he might be helping. I think he might be a point rider. I'm trying to remember what position I am, but he's a cowboy. He's a cowboy. Ghostly Pictures Virgil is a young African American man, like yeah, he's young. Virgil's supposed to be young. He's like early 20s. I always picture him as a rump with curly black hair and so much pep. And so he is very much pep. I mean, he's a you know, he likes to, you know, he's a bit of a flirt. He's a bit of a flirt too. He's definitely a bit of a flirt. Yeah, 20s. Yeah, early 20s. He's supposed to be very early 20s. Because I wrote him to be pretty young. So. Oh my god, LOL. Yeah. Yep. That's a Virgil for you. Oh, princess. Hello, princess. Oh my goodness. All right. Any reference picks? I don't think I had any. I didn't have any actor types for him set up, but I think if I had oh, you were just not getting settled. You were. I think is it because I'm wearing a costume that you're just you're not having any of this. She is fussy. She's a fussy lady today. I know. She keeps like getting up being like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, oh, Gambino. Childish Gambino. Yeah, it would have to be younger cuz he's already too old. I know the band name. Did I run Opera Soria? Did I run the costume change by Princess first? I did not, and that might be why I'm getting yelled at. Thank you. That's right. I always forget it's Donald Glover because of the other Donald Glover. Yeah, but it would be like a younger Donald. It would be Donald Glover when he would. I could say like Community era Donald Glover or like stand up. Yeah, young stand up could work. Trying to think, from what movies have I seen recently that I feel like would work? I am trying to think. The one kid who was in the D&D movie has the right look, but he's too timid. Okay, Community is a good reference. I love that show. Yeah. His days in Community would be about that time. I also feel like Virgil cannot grow facial hair to save his life. Very young 20, yeah. Yeah, Troy, yeah. He is very cute, yeah. That was the period where I knew about him, like his stand-up early comedy. Did he do stuff on College Humor? Was he one of those, like, he might have been one of those College Humor era folks. There was a bunch of them. There was like a whole bunch out of that crew that came out of that. Troy in a bed in the morning. He is cute, yeah. Yep. Yeah, a much younger Boyega could do it too, like his Attack of the Block days when he if you saw Attack of the Block, that would work too. I always forget how much of the background music from the original Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, sounds like upbeat elevator music. It's so 90s. You can tell every time I listen to the soundtrack, I'm just like, it's so 90s. Opera Soria, I knew it. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. We've been rolling the Ava soundtrack the whole time. I'm doing a theme here. I was wondering why all this sounded familiar. Yeah. I'm trying to place your onesie. Is it Buzz Lightyear? It's Ava Unit 1 from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Uh, I don't know how many folks in my audience that hang out in here are familiar with that show. It is like one of my all-time favorite things. I don't talk about it a ton just because I feel like I overstate it, but it's an anime from an Japanese anime from the 90s that's a mech show. Um, yeah, it's this show. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yeah. Ah, not that. But that's like the poster for it. And Ava Unit 1 is the mech. Yeah, right. I know. I'm definitely burying the lead when I say it's a mech show. I'm being very coy about that. I haven't watched it in many moons. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, moons. Because it's funny, the guy who wrote and made it, Hideaki Anno, one of his favorite shows was Battleship Yamato. And the opening of the new Battleship Yamato, the 2199, was directed by him as like an homage. But yeah, um, I've not seen it, but I can. There's many memes. It has become a foundational part of internet culture. But it's essentially it starts off as like a Japanese mechas from the 90s. Ghostly, it just saying it's a mecha. I'm kind of lying to everybody when I say that, but that's how I'm pitching it because they're very much not like mechs. They are. The show. It's a very Wilight show. It's a show that was foundational to a young Wilight growing up, which is it starts off like a normal mech show except for the kids really depressed, and then it becomes like an existential cosmic deconstruction of the entire genre of mechs and also teenage depression and and just adult depression, while also pulling a lot from like esoteric Gnostic Christianity and Kabbalic Judaism, which I was really into when I was a kid. So it like really, really got me into like it's why when I first got to college I was studying esoteric Christianity and like esoteric Judaism before I got into philosophy was because of that anime in a weird way. Um I haven't watched it. I did watch Evangelion though. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. And if I ever had a daughter, I already decided to name her Evangeline. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't think I've. Oh, Chrono Crusade. No, I'm familiar with it though, but I do know Chrono Crusade. I know the game Chrono Cross as well, but always L Teen Angst. Um, yes, but that's the costume and the soundtrack we're listening to. Evangeline is a very good name. Evangeline. That is. Has anyone made a famous character named Evangeline? I feel like that's a character name that I feel like that's like a character name that should have like a famous literary or like specifically literary, like a literary. Oh, is it a Disney character? Oh, it's Princess and the Frog. I'm foolish. I did not. Did not even. Did not even. I don't think I ever saw Princess and the Frog, to be honest with you. Um, okay, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ray's star friend. The star that was Ray, the Bug's Life wife from Princess and the Frog. A crime. Oh no. Oh no, is it a crime that I haven't watched The Princess and the Frog? I don't want to be fair. Okay, I do not watch a lot of Disney movies. There are a lot of Disney classics I have not seen. Okay, I saw like Aladdin and The Lion King because that like was the age I was at, and so like everybody saw those movies in the theater. So I was like I saw those, and I think I watched. I do remember because we had it on VHS. I watched. I do remember loving the Robin Hood movie, and the Sword and the Stone movie, and the Black Cauldron. But that's about it. I don't think I've seen many. I never saw Mulan. I never saw. What are the other ones I haven't seen? To be honest with you, most of the big Disney movies I have not seen. To be fair, I feel kind of bad. I feel like I'm outing myself here as like a weird. Yes, yeah. I did watch. I did okay. Like I know. I did not watch Disney movies. I did not watch Disney movies. I didn't come from a Disney household. Like we had some old VHS tapes that I think my mom got for my brother or something. Oh my god. Oh boy, I'm getting yelled at. Uh, let's see. I've had memory problems since I caught COVID in summer. Oh no, Manel, that's terrible. Ugh, that is it's good, but it's not great. Okay. Ugh, I'm sorry, Nell. That's not good. Um the villain is superb, the song is a banger. Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay. No Mulan, you're aging yourself like milk right now, Twilight. I was a Don Bluth kid. I did watch a lot of Don Bluth movies. A lot of like obviously the Land Before Time series was very big in my house. The um oh god, what was the other? There was a few Don Bluth. Um what was the other one? I didn't wait I kind of remember not liking Titan AE. I saw that in the theater when it came out, but I remember not really liking Titan AE that much. But there was what was the other, was that Don Bluth or was the Pirate Planet one might have been Don Bluth. Oh, Anastasia is great. Yes, I remember that. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I was very much into. I was way more into. Oh man, we're like going down. Okay, so he doesn't know dishonor on your cow. Neither did I. Dishonor. Oh boy. Oh, I've done too many things. My cow's certainly been dishonored. Let's see. That's not legal. That's right. No one should dishonor Opera Soria's cows. Um, I do remember liking Anastasia a lot. Thank you. Okay, yeah, Treasure Planet. That was the one. I saw that in the theater, and I remember that being kind of wonky. It was okay. I liked the ships. Um, I like the ships and that kind of thing. But no, I did like American Tail. American Tail was good, but I was way more into Five O Goes West. I know that sounds it's like definitely not the popular opinion, but like John Cleese was the voice of the cat who was like the evil capitalist like dude buying up all the like rods in the town, and so that was the last role by oh god, how did I Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. How the hell did I forget his name? Um I mean, God, he was in like a shitload of Hitchcock movies. I mean, one of the greatest 40s and 50s and 60s actors. Um, it's gonna make me angry that I forgot his name. Um, oh my God, James Stewart. Yeah, and it was like the last. I'm pretty sure that was James Stewart's last role was as the sheriff, the dog sheriff, who goes like walking off into the desert at the end. Anyway, I was a big fan. Thank you, Ghostly, as well as Atlantis. That's right. I also don't know Don Bluth though. Don't at me. So there was a Treasure Planet was art. The designs of the ships were incredible. Ghostly, you're very yes, 100%. Um, Treasure Planet is Disney. Thank you. That is the other one. So my favorite animated movie as a kid was Brave Little Toaster. I was a die-hard Brave Little Toaster kid. So like Brave Little Toaster and Land Before Time were the big ones for me. Oh, and I mean there's the other ones too. I mean how can you forget The Secret of Nim? And the sequels, I loved the sequels. All Dogs Go to Heaven, that I believe was Bluth as well. So anyway, these were the like, and I think it's because Steven Spielberg for a long time backed Don Bluth kind of over Disney, because for a long time Don Bluth was like the only person doing animation that could compete with Disney. So that was kind of, maybe we were just like, there wasn't really such a thing as factions, but that was the side I grew up on. Oh, I mean, Ghostly. Who Frames Roger Rabbit is a great film. It's iconic. That one, that was the Looney Tunes people working with Robert Zemeckis. And so I think, because Robert Zemeckis had done the Back to the Future movies. And after that was before he went into his weird, like, what he does now with all, like the Polar Express and all that weird stuff. But Who Framed Roger Rabbit was, like, the big, like, putting live actors into, like, essentially a Warner Brothers cartoon. But I loved, I absolutely love. Now, if you want the weird adult version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, then there's a Ralph Bakshi movie that has a very young Brad Pitt in it. That's called Cool World. It is definitely adult. It is not for kids at all. Like, it's not like, I don't think there's any nudity, but like the big thing is like he becomes a person who's essentially like, you're not allowed to like date or have sex with cartoons. And so Brad Pitt's kind of like a weird detective making sure that no one's about to break the rules. It's definitely like, it's not like it's not grotesque or like all hard R, but it's like, it's definitely not for kids. It's definitely more adult than, say, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Even though Who Framed for Roger Rabbit toes the line a little bit with Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, Cool World is more adult than Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit does, like, toe that line, for sure. I use Jessica Rabbit as my walking model in my anime. That's awesome, Moon Runes. Because the animation, did they roto her? Or did they like do like capture someone walking down like a runway and then like and then animate frame for frame? Because I feel like that had to have been animated at 24 frames a second. Because the way that they animated Jessica Rabbit is unreal. There's an animated film that I can't remember the name of. There's many animated movies. I mean, I have a cell back here from Fritz Lang's Wizards, or not Fritz Lang, sorry, Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, which is a crazy movie. It also came out the same year as Star Wars too. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Yeah, because the animation is so smooth. Half the time they do that, because I think that's what they did for Snow White. I'm pretty sure for Snow White they actually did film someone doing the dance and then just animated over it, kind of like rotoing over it. To get that like very smooth animation style. Also, it was wild that they did different animation rates for different figures in that, which blows my mind. So she's animated at 24 frames a second, while the dwarves dancing around her, they were on a loop. I don't know. They did something that blew like my mind. That I was like, oh, they're doing different frame rates in the same shot, and that's crazy to me. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised at it. Yeah. I was going to talk about Cool World. Cool World it's very funny. It's not like a great movie, but it's definitely like a weird movie. Anyway, sorry, That's my tirade. I feel like I had to defend myself after everybody came at me because of my lack of Disney knowledge. Oh yes, yeah. Then we're talking about Bakshi now. Those are full on adult cartoon. Fritz the Cat is I mean, most of those early Bakshi movies are, have like nudity. They're full on adult cartoons. There's a documentary series on the dreaded Goliath Disney Plus on how certain films were made, with a whole episode on Roger Rabbit. It's very. Oh really? Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that. If for someone who's not an animation person, I feel bad. Like I'm just not an animation person, but I wish I could draw, because I kind of nerd out about animation a lot. It's one of those things that I'm happy to just appreciate from the side, even though I wish I could draw. I wish I could draw better, but is what it is. Okay, I forgot. We got ads rolling in, so we're gonna run some ads here, folks. So go ahead and step away, refill the water. Maybe I'll go get more tea, and then we will reconvene in 3 minutes. Um, Blasted ads, but we'll see y'all back here in a second. There we go. Ads are rolling. I'm gonna try to find the name of the film I can't remember the name of. I mean, I'd love to see it if it's one I haven't seen. All right. Quietly guzzling my coffee. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna go. How much tea do I have left? The question is, do I want too much tea? Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I'll keep an eye. It's fine. It's fine. Ghostly Twilight, what's the next script you want to make? All right. Well, now that the film festival's over, there's kind of like I'm kind of at an impasse. I think that's kind of why I'm taking some time off to just figure out what I want to do next. I want to get that. There's a part of me that still wants to like really try to get that haunted house one right. So I think I might still try to crack that story, but then probably the next one that's gonna be on is gonna be my it's a revenge thriller. I call it my American Harakiri, which is it's a Harakiri is a movie that kind of takes samurai culture. It was made in Japan, but it's a kind of deconstruction of the sort of like. Oh, you mean to film? Oh, I'm sorry, not right. Oh, gotcha. Okay. The next one I want to film. Well, we got to do Crime Clowns. We have to do the short of Crime Clowns. There's a short film that I have written right now that is that I'm workshopping right now, called yeah, exactly, Moonra. It's also a terrible punishment. Yeah, Harakiri or seppuku. But it's a short like horror film that I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if I'm trying to come up with another short film that I want to like be able to throw money behind. That's gonna help like kind of build interest in trying to maybe try to get funding for a feature. The next feature film I want to make, I mean, it's Dreaming and Vertigo and Blue Devils. Those are the two scripts that like I feel like I think they're ready to make. I think they're primed. They're, scripts change as you go through and do the development process and like get it all set up to film, but like I feel like those two are good to go. And Blue Devils is one I've been trying to deal with for a while. So those, in terms of feature films, those are probably the first two on the first two that I would really like to get made. But those two cost money. There is a world where I feel like I could do the cyberpunk world of Dreaming and Vertigo for very cheap and make it for like $150,000. It would be very punk, DIY, janky. But I feel like I could do it. It like look a lot like Repo Man and like Tetsuo Iron Man and kind of like some of those old analog punk movies from the 90s that kind of tried to do sci-fi on a budget. I would just have to lean into that aesthetic very heavily to make it work. Essentially, could like completely throw out anything looking realistic out the window and having it look very junkyard. Um, but like Blue Devils is a horror movie. That the problem is that's a horror movie that's like very dark and has a lot to say. So that one's a little bit harder to like get people on board to make because it's not like a schlock film that people can just watch and have fun with. Like it's clearly there's some heavy themes in that I think hit hard. So that's kind of, that's kind of that's the difficulty of those two projects. That's actually why I started writing the haunted house movie. Was I figured the haunted house movie would be an easier one to get made. The Blue Devils are opinionated. That's true. They are very much opinionated. I mean, you're in for a bad time when the title of your film is an old-timey term for alcoholism. Like it's a term, it's literally a term. The Blue Devils, or someone having the Blue Devils is a term for somebody who is literally getting delirium tremens, which is a disorder where you hallucinate. That's actually deadly. It can kill you if you are essentially massively dependent on alcohol and you stop drinking. Which is why some people who have such a high level of alcohol dependence actually have to they have to detox in a hospital because it can kill you. But they tend to hallucinate and sort of like trip essentially. And that's where the term Blue Devils comes from. It also technically means melancholy. I reopened Crime Clowns for the first time in months last night, and Ghostly might be ready to reopen it again. Hey man, I want to go through. Maybe that's what we'll start doing. Maybe I'll write off stream and I'll start storyboarding Crime Clowns next week on the stream, and that'll be what we do on stream for the sprints. Maybe I'll do that. I'm clearly getting I can tell I'm getting like the storyboard like visualization itch because I'm very much thinking heavily about storyboards. So and less about scripts, which usually means I'm angsty to like make something. Ghostly wants to get through that script one day. I mean, you can always just take it bite size at a time. It's dark. It's definitely dark. Do the proverbial cover your eyes. I definitely want you to know what you're getting into because there's some heavy shit in that script. Oh, okay. It was Felix the Cat the movie. Yeah, Felix the Cat the movie. Yep. That is a trip of a movie for sure. I think I've only watched Felix the movie Felix the Cat once. My mom was a big fan of that movie, if I remember correctly. I kind of want you to read my yes on screen, but I'm still debating because I'm nervous. You let me know, Moonrunes, because I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that script Sorry, I'm gonna read that first chapter, just to give you feedback on it. But if you want me to read it on stream, definitely let me know for next week, because I'll probably try to plan on reading that off stream next week. So just let me know around then. But yeah, it's always, what you're comfortable with. Because I get it. It is nerve-wracking. Can Ghostly get a trigger warning? Trigger warning for what's in the script? Well, I know Ghostly has issues with... I know, you tend to avert your eyes when there's sexual content. And there is that. There is one very explicit scene early on, and there's some implied stuff that goes on down later. There is some heavily implied domestic abuse, and there's definitely incest, or not seeing it, but there's the relationship is implied to be incestuous. There is, general deconstructions of depression, alcoholism, general small town, mountain town misery. There is undead. I'm trying to think. There's a body horror, and there is yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, there's some pretty explicit sexual scenes that aren't but they're more horrifying. They're not really sex scenes. They're more horrifying. So yeah, there's a lot. there's a lot. There's a lot, Ghostly. It's quite a bit. I'll think about it and let you know. Yep, just let me know, Moonrunes. Yeah, it is not the lightest of things that I have written. It actually might be one of the heaviest ones I've ever written. While when I look back, it is a long trigger warning list. It is. It's pretty heavy. There's a lot. There is a lot of like, yeah, there's a lot. There is definitely a lot. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, I have to like, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. 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 I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Maybe it might just be too much for Ghostly. There are many times I wish I wasn't a noodle because I know it's fine, Ghostly. You don't do not push yourself into a world where you're way, way, way too uncomfortable. Yeah. It is an important script to me, and that's probably why there's so much very visceral stuff going on in that script, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. About not being able to read it. And more than like well, yeah, definitely not being able to see it if it ever did get made. I can tell you right now that it's particularly visually how I want to go about things, it would definitely be too much, particularly on the latter half of it. Um, because my short film, the film you all saw, is pretty tame comparatively, um, both on the weird front and on like the spooks front. But that's kind of also why I wanted to do this other script. Um, Ghostly had to close her eyes for some of Sonia Green. Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling you might just have to let that Blue Devils one be. Yep. Um, but that's also why I want to do that haunted house one, because I feel like there will be like horrifying imagery in that and like terrifying stuff, but it's nowhere near as intense in terms of, and even thematically, like the existential themes are much more intense, but they're not like, it's not quite as like visceral and on the ground. Ghostly tried to read the rom com. I think I think the sexual content in the rom com was too much. You'll like the Cyberpunk rom though, Ghostly. I have a feeling. Yeah, I think Ghostly tried that. Yeah, I think that one had the sexual content, and that one was too much for Ghostly. Because that one is pretty pared back, but there is like there is like horror imagery. It's just not couched in like a horror thing either. But like with the ghouls, there's a little bit there with the ghouls and all that kind of stuff. Um, no, where the pitch deck is incredibly balanced. I love it. It's the cyberpunk rom com is one that people like. I think it's because it's high concept and it's mixing two genres that don't get meshed up together very often. And in like LA, that's like kind of what people look for, like when they're looking for scripts. So I have a feeling that's the script that's probably going to get sent out the more than any of the other ones, because people seem to really like that script quite a bit, and the pitch deck for it's really good too. The problem with the pitch deck, the problem I always have with the pitch deck for Blue Devils is because it's so non-traditional in terms of like structurally how it's structured, that it's very hard for me to like do that in a proper summation. I also probably should go back to Blue Devils and I should probably also go back and tweak the Blue Devils pitch deck, because I feel like I could kind of I could phrase things and sort of sell things a little bit easier now on that script, because I did do that one much faster than I did the Dreaming and Vertigo one. Um, Ghostly didn't ask to have the sensibilities of Victorian child, but it is the state I am living in. It is part of your charm, Ghostly. Don't go changing for anyone but yourself. But I'm also not, I don't know, easily triggered. I've been editing for going on a decade, not much phase. Yeah, I was gonna say, Cryptid, you've probably read through much of the worst. I'm proud of you, Ghostly, for setting healthy boundaries and taking care of yourself. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah. Don't ever feel like you absolutely have to get things. Um, Like you absolutely have to get things, you know, like if it's something you're not comfortable with, don't ever force yourself to like get through it. It's just not worth it usually. Um, and most of the time, it's just gonna make you feel uncomfortable, and it's gonna color your opinion of the whole thing anyway. So, um, but yes, yeah. So yeah, so that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out what the next thing is. It's actually very funny, given that I'm like generally considered the horror like person who like does horror movies. I've been struggling recently to come up with good horror ideas, or at least like things that really make me want to make horror films. It's like most of the scripts that I'm like developing and writing aren't generally horror, which is interesting. Uh, and I don't have too many horror. It's probably I'll probably go back and tweak Lone Star and see if I can get Lone Star, um, on like if I can get Lone Star up and going again. Hey, I'm proud of you. I got my start in 2012, which was the PNR boom. You can't. Oh yeah, I don't. What is PNR? Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, I heard. I'm not even like in that circle, and I know about paranormal romance. There was a period where we used to go to bookstores and just grab. We would just grab like any book we found off of the like in the paranormal romance section. We would just go grab like used books off and just open it up and read certain chapters and just like, oh Jesus Christ, you know. Like yeah, I was familiar enough with paranormal romance to know how bonkers that stuff was. You can steal my swamp that eats people if you want. I won't sue. Thank you, Ghostly. Thank you. I think if I did that one, it would be like a short film. But I do. It's a good idea, Ghostly. Hey, you wrote a story for me, and it's a great idea. And that you might have chops as a horror writer. You never for someone who lives as a noodle, you might have the chops for it. So you know, don't ever sell yourself short. It's a good idea, and it's a legitimately creepy idea too. Yes, yes, yes. I know. I figured you'd be happy about me tweaking the Lone Star. Yeah, I think Lone Star is such a strong enough first half that I really just need to like I really just need to I need to make that second half live up to the first half, in my opinion. I mean, there's things that I would change in the first half, but there's like I feel like it's a really strong first half of a movie. Ghostly likes to read those old Harlequin romance books, super sexist, kind of hilarious in an awful kind of way. I mean, there's a charm to them for sure, Ghostly. I get you. I there's a few movies that I definitely go back to that are like clearly very like that like definitely are like still doing the scene not heard when it comes to women, which is pretty fucked up, but yeah, it can sometimes be charming in like a historical context where you have to like bracket the violent sexism. Um, the stuff marked as dark romance today is actually more tame, ironically. I mean, I don't know because I'm not in that world, Cryptid, so you would have to tell me. But 100%, um, uh, you'd have to tell me. But like, I I don't see how it could get any more intense than than paranormal romance. But the way people talk about dark romance and like the stuff they find in like in like literary circles, or what is it, like book TikTok or whatever it is, they make it sound like it's really bad. So I just assumed, like most things on the internet, it got more intense and worse as things go on. Yeah, my friend is obsessed with those and has been recommending them left and right to me. Oh, really? Like the Harlequin romance books, or oh, dark romance. Got it. Yeah, yeah. I love you for this, Moonrunes. Um, One of my favorite bad movies is Fire and Ice. Nell, it is a great bad movie, and that's another Bakshi movie, but very much pulling from like Conan and like the old school, like some of the Frank Frazetta fantasy art. You know, in Ghostly's opinion, she fell off the boat when they went to the church. Wait, the church? Wait, what church? In what book? Oh, the Harlequin romance books. Oh. That is the midpoint. That is the moan part, Ghostly. That's the midpoint. That's the midpoint. That's the where you get like the lore dump and all that kind of nonsense, which I don't think makes any sense, and I need to go back and refigure out anyway. Um, like I like the idea of having evil padres running around, like old Spanish mission, like kind of demonic gunslinging padres. I just think that's a really cool idea. And also like the outfits always look really cool. So just I don't know, evil gunslinging priests are cool to me. So I want to do something with that, but I need to get rid of like all the kind of the weird lore bullshit that was in there. And also I'm changing a lot of that lore anyway. And thanks to the movie The Substance, I don't know if I can do my body stealing thing because The Substance totally does the body stealing thing, and I was like, ah, shit. Ah, god damn it. Because I really, the one of the big conceits, if you haven't read the script, is the fact that like once someone kills someone else, that person takes their body back. Essentially, you deprive someone of a body, their like spirit essentially like explodes out of you, and they kind of like they take their body back. They are reborn using your body, and the substance does it for like an amazing metaphor. If you can stomach body horror, The Substance is like one of the best movies to come out in a long time. But like, and it's also deeply funny. But anyway, that's kind of the thing though. I'm like, god damn it, body stealing. Um, there's a place in my heart for Frazetta and Kono Stein. Me too, Nell. Me too. I mean, I don't have the glasses on me, but I literally have Frank Frazetta art glasses and stuff. Like big. My little keyboard mouse pad thing on my desk is a Frazetta piece. So it's like I'm a big fan of that stuff as well. I would rather read a dozen dark romance novels written presently than a single PNR written on the self-pub boom of 2010 to 13. Yeah, that's fair. I think I'd agree with you there, Cryptid. Oh, you grew up a lot with the Nelvana franchise media. Okay, that makes sense. Was that big? Because you're out of the UK right now. I mean, if I remember correctly, I know you're in a different time zone, so I might be wrong. But I wonder if that's out there. Wildlife, that sounds delight. There's always room for body stealing. Thank you, Cryptid. If I can find a way to make it work, and make it different, you have to find a way to make it different enough. When it comes to those kinds of existential weird movies, Ghostly like it better when things are left unknown and terrifying. Yeah, I think that's my problem with that one, Ghostly, is that it defines everything very clearly, and it even defines the only thing it doesn't define is what the Lone Star actually is. That's the only thing that kind of remains a mystery in that script, and I think that's the big problem. I'm a big I think that's the big problem is I had this like broader mythology created, and also the mythology just doesn't really make sense, so I need to get rid of it. It's just too much. And also lore is, I mean, maybe this might just be me, but like for me lore is kind of dumb. Like it's more interest like mythological implication of like legends, which are always fragmented and you kind of have to piece things together, is far more interesting when there's gaps than just like deep diving into what the like dogmatic interpretation of the lore is. I guess I it's actually my problem with a lot of like the FromSoft game culture. Well, I like lore videos in those, but it's like it's very, people get very like dogmatic about what things actually mean, and the stories are very ambiguous and for a reason, to essentially reject the idea of a unified lore. So I think I was just playing against what my inclinations were, and I think you're right, Ghostly. That is the problem. Particularly because with the existential weird stuff, you need to let things be unknown. That's kind of part of the point of them. Over explaining is too much. And it takes away the magic. The real body stealing Wild West. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to do something with it, but also the indecisive perfection fear is terrible. Indeed, no, I gotcha. Yeah, that's that is a hard thing to overcome. Honestly, the perfection fear thing is why I started streaming and why I put my work on stream, is because there's something so like visceral about like exposing yourself in that way that it kind of like helps. I guess. Maybe that's just me, but that was kind of a way for me to like get over sharing work, trying to like, or be comfortable just writing something that wasn't very good. Yeah, but for the fifth channel at a very specific time on a. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, but it was on the fifth channel at a very specific time. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. And also the concept of body doubling. I get. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it's far more interesting for people to piece together what happened than as the writer to sit back and watch people come up with things far beyond what they ever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ghostly. That's a smarter. Um, um, yeah, and also the concept of body doubling. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Ghostly. It's much more interesting. It's actually much more narratively fulfilling. The I think, and it demands more of the audience, but I think the audience is usually smart enough, and it's more interesting for them to like to leave those gaps for them to get it, because they're gonna naturally impose themselves into it, and then you know and then it becomes more like they're making it more emotionally meaningful to themselves. So they're kind of doing a little bit of the work for you. Oh shit. Okay, Oizel. Hope tutoring goes well. Yes, try to be back if you're still here. Yep, we'll be here for a little bit. We'll be here. We're hanging for a little bit. It won't be crazy long, but we're gonna hang for a bit. Um, but I hope the tutoring goes well. Um, but yeah, I definitely think like that's there's but the funny thing is there's a lot of things I leave very unexplained in the script Blue Devils, and the two notes I get back from people on that script are, one, you explain nothing. Which I think I worried I was a little overly explanatory. But they're always like, you explain nothing, and I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, like, as long as certain things make sense. You kind of just need to try to, if I can suss out if the emotional stuff makes sense, then I'm happy, because as long as they can follow the emotional stuff, that's what they need to be able to follow. And then the other thing is, like, you also made like one of the main characters, like, I mean, you made them an ex neo-Nazi. I was like, yes. And so everybody was like, why don't you just code that? And I'm like, because I don't want people to be trying to interpret the film as being like, is he coding this character as an ex neo Nazi? And I'm like, no, I want it to be explicit so you don't waste the brain power on that. Ghostly is taking a break from the fantasy road trip for a while, and you've spawned Ghostly to dabble in a new idea. Oh, always exciting to dabble into a new idea, Ghostly. I think that might be why the next major script I write is going to be my like American Harakiri film, because I've never written like a revenge action movie before, and that's what it is, and I kind of want to see how that's gonna look at. But yeah, what's the what are you dabbling into, Ghostly? Are you gonna it's a genre that clearly is very much out of a genre that's, I'm assuming it's out of your wheelhouse in terms of genre. I mean, Rubber. Look at Rubber. Great movie, no explanation. Rubber is like the far end of the spectrum where you get zero explanation. You get nothing. You get nothing at all, which is very funny. Oh, thank you, Upper Soria. Ad break in 30 minutes. Okay. But yes, Ghostly, what is it? What is the idea? What are you slinging? But yeah, I call the American Cop, my American Harakiri movie, a movie where I make a revenge story about a cops and cop killers. But we'll see how it does. That's also a movie that I know I'm gonna write that no one's ever gonna want to make. Oh, since there's no timer, you're just gonna go max out the allotted time as much as I can. Thank you, Opera Soria. That tracks. That's, I mean, I see the counter. Because of our big capital dialogue from the other day, a semi-sci-fi, mostly 1984 inspired dystopian. Oh, I'm so into that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Opera Story. I figured. Um, I mean, that's my favorite. That's some of my favorite fiction, is dystopian science fiction, fan. You know, the cyberpunk rom coms dystopian fan or science fiction. So yes, Ghostly. A minute to sum up, but I'm very excited to read. I'm very excited for that. Um, try to think what Do, 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 do. Um, the other big thing that doesn't have any explanation that I grew up loving was Lost Highway. Like David Lynch. Like David Lynch films are a great example of like telling you a story, and if you kind of vibe with it, you get it, and you get the emotional kind of like what the story's getting at. But like in terms of what's happening, you're along for the ride, and you kind of throw out understanding any of that out the window. And David Lynch was like the perennial influence for me as a like young filmmaking kid. Like David Lynch films are probably like the most foundational for me. It's probably why the horror films I tend to try to write tend to like not lean very heavy into the hack and slash, running through the woods, being chased by a monster kind of thing. I always generally kind of try to avoid that because I don't particularly find that interesting. I guess it's like interesting when it's Alien. Like Alien does it really well because you know you're trapped, you're going through the corridors and all that kind of stuff. But and there's very little of that movie that is directly running from the monster and the monster like giving chase because you kind of don't even know where the monster is, and that's part of the horror of it. It's just like Sigourney Weaver running through the hallways, but like you never know where the alien's gonna pop out at, and that's kind of part of where the terror comes from. So I feel like it did the horror trope, but it did it of like running away from the monster, the masked monster, or whatever it might be. But like it did it in a much more interesting and much more terrifying way. Where like even slasher films don't really do that. I mean they try to do it a little bit because like with Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, they kind of say that he's got magic dream powers, so he can just kind of appear. You never kind of know where he's gonna come from. It's probably why that one's but the ones that I can't do are like the Friday the 13th. The original Halloween is interesting just for some of the things that Carpenter does with it. Because he never really chases people, he just stalks. It's very rare for him to actually chase anybody. Anyway, that's my ranting about horror films for particularly slashers and the problem with slasher films. If it's not abundantly obvious, I'm not the biggest fan of slasher films, or it takes a lot for me to like a slasher film. Okay, that's a great slasher film. Moon Ruins. I watched Scream for the first time this year. So Scream is a masterpiece. Scream is because Scream at the same Scream kind of is one of those few movies that gets like to like, or what's the term, like make and eat its cake too, or like have its cake too, or whatever. But like it gets to kind of deconstruct slasher films and the more absurd elements of slasher films, while also in of itself being a far more existentially terrifying slasher film, because Scream has so much to say that really was prescient at the time about like media sensations, about violent acts and people. You have to remember Scream came out before Columbine, and that's crazy because I don't think any movie ever kind of really saw where it was going better than Scream. Like the two main killers in Scream are kind of like it's like someone saw through the future and then just did an allegorical story about Columbine. It's wild. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, Scream will always be, in my book, an utter masterpiece. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Billy Loomis and Stu Macho. Yep, they really are genius. It's incredible. Yeah, that movie goes down as like one of the all-time greats for sure. Haas Corporations holds the world in its hand. The elite suits live in big city suburbia, while the lower class are separated Berlin Wall style out into the fields and mines. Scotty has spent the past 2 years devoting her life to learning how suits tick. With some lies and manipulation, she manages to land an unpaid internship as the Haas Corp as a diversity hire. That's funny. That's good. She goes in to avenge her fiance and crumble the system from the inside. I'm into that, Ghostly. I am all into that. That sounds fantastic. Scream is a masterpiece. Okay, I'm very excited for this very you're doing a lot of good like classist dystopian, yep, 1984 spy thriller vibes. Yep. You're definitely you're definitely nailing the genre. So I'm very excited to see what you do with it. I think in your hands it could be something really interesting. Ghostly, if you watch Scream, you can hit Lost Boys. Ghostly should definitely watch Lost Boys. I think Ghostly could take Lost Boys. Also, Lost Boys is just great. It's just great. Do I have to bring up the saxophone scene from Lost Boys? Do I have to bring that up and force everybody? It's the one thing I watch from that movie all the time. It's the saxophone scene from Lost Boys. Also, one of the best pop songs ever made that was just made for the movie. Like, the opening sequence, that song was not like a song they pulled. It was just... They made it just for the movie, and it's a banger. Like, it's really good. And yes, her fiance was named Virgil. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Good. Okay. Do you want to do like a dystopian heist? Is that the vibe, like espionage, but in a dystopia? I think that's, but also crumbling the system. So it's hitting that kind of like dystopian, destroy the corporation from the inside kind of thing. Movie night. We could do a Lost Boys movie night. I know I kind of teased doing movie nights, but I'm thinking about finding a night that it works for folks to kind of do like a post-stream movie night. Or a movie night where everybody is like not, hey Liz, welcome in. But like, kind of doing like a movie night that folks can meet, like get in and on the Discord. The original one I was thinking of was Big Lebowski, because I had watched that. I just watched that one earlier this year for research on Pawn Boys, but we could start with Lost Boys. Lost Boys might be a really good one. That's because Schumacher bribed so many musicians for that soundtrack. It's a fucking mess. It's one of the best soundtracks for sure. It's also one of the best vampire movies ever made. Like modern vampire movies. How you doing, Liz? How goes the afternoon? It's got to be afternoon where you're at. I'm assuming afternoon. It's afternoon here, so I assumed it would be afternoon. But yeah, Lost Boys will be in there for sure. Oh, you're in LA. Oh, that's right. Yes. I remember you just landed. Just landed. So it is afternoon. It's just earlier afternoon. Huzzah! Well, it's actually surprise, right? Well, hey, there you go. You're so jet lagged. Oh, ooh. I mean, shouldn't it be like shouldn't it be like I feel like coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, you're gonna feel better. Well, I guess it would be later in the evening, so it's like you want to go to sleep. You're like, okay, it's time for sleep, but then you'll be up super early. I feel like it's easier to be up early. Yeah. We're like in New York, I can stay awake all night. I already stay awake so late here. New York, I literally can just go party till God knows what hour, till the ungodly hours. I'm so dead. Liz, you got. Yeah, it's almost 8 here. Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's. Yeah, once you get to the coast, it's probably a lot. It's a lot worse. Oh no, my back is being grumpy, so I think I need to lie down. Of course, Nell, go rest, lie down, feel better. Yeah, do not push yourself. Don't push yourself to be here. We're hanging out. We did all the. You guys all of you almost made me cry. It's fine. It's all fine. We don't need to talk about it. But it was very nice of you all. But yeah. So it's just hanging out. We're just chilling. We love you. It's fine. But you know. So now we're just chilling. We're just chilling, listening to good old 90s anime vibes while I sit in this very, very... I'm going to see if I can make it through stream in this stupid onesie. It's very hot, though. And it's very nice outside. Like, we actually got a cool day finally, so it's actually very cool outside. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much. Yes. Almost birthday. So we're doing the almost birthday stream. Okay, yes, Ghostly. The goal for the main character is to crumble the deck of cards subtly. Yeah, it's subtle. Yeah. Instead of the rouse the army and fight with brute force, she wants to make the charging bull trip and fall into the ocean with its own momentum. Nice. That's a smart way to go about it. That is a smart way to go about it, Ghostly. There's the mech. I'm kind of developing these off stream, but there's a mech trilogy I'm writing where I'm trying to do a mech thing, and one of it is kind of about colonialism and apartheid and sort of like political like empire building. And I'm kind of doing a similar thing because that is a really honestly, like there's in the capitalist like imperial core, you might argue that is like terrorism, but a lot of things about terrorism is essentially to use the weight. If it's targeted and tactically used, that's kind of like what it's dictated as terrorism. You could also, it's like the Battle of Algiers, you could call it resistance fighting, but like it usually tries to take the weight of the sort of like the weight of an overactive imperial center and get it to trip on itself, and that actually is a tactic. It's a real tactic that resistance fighters throughout history have used, things like that. So it's a smart move, Ghostly. I'm almost done with this Halloween tier. Yes, Rune Wolf. I really like. I'm telling you, go the Carpenter way, where it's like a different story. It's chef's kiss. It's why Halloween 3, where Halloween, everyone's like, oh, it's about Mike Myers. Halloween 3 is about a bunch of weird druids using a shamrock sign to try to use beer to take over the world. It's incredible. Anyway. If anyone out there has not seen Halloween 3, it was much maligned when it came out because it's not about Mike Myers and, the Halloween mask. But it's so great. It's such a great movie. It's literally about druids, everybody. It's about evil druids. It's so cool. Irish druids. It's incredible. Twilight, please don't overheat for us. Comfort is important. I know, but like I never get to dress up in a Halloween costume. I could also show the giant mech over here. To show what I'm dressed up as. Although I guess I did do that. Let's see here. Thank you, Cryptid. If you need any spy notes or research, I feel free to hit Ghostly. I have a small library of it. That's true. I forgot. That's true, Cryptid. You have a ton of that stuff. Didn't you? Was that for research, or do you just collect that? Because I remember you mentioning a bunch of spy and kind of like underground, like early spy stuff. I can't remember if you said you were doing that for research or if you were just really interested in that. Yes, Andor, 100%. Yes, I'd say the other homework Ghostly should be to watch Andor. Beautiful stuff that focuses on espionage of revolution. I have a whole take on Andor. I literally have a whole take on Andor and what I think that Tony Gilroy is doing which is why I love that show so much. It's definitely a part of my pinko commie leftist nonsense, but it's 100% like I have a whole deep dive on Andor. Ghostly, I'm not gonna lie, Wildlight, because of your character of big businessman, Ghostly, imagine a pseudo version of Wildlight. Ghostly, I will be the most flattering thing you could ever do is literally make a piratey mustache man. Like if you make me just take me and Snidely Whiplash from Dudley Do Right and make that your big bad capitalist, I will die happy. You will have made me very happy. Like literally mustache twirling evil capitalist who's like You know why we call them jaywalkers? Because they're too stupid to not get hit by cars. Anyway, yeah, something like that. Like very like 1800s. Very 1800s. Like bank tycoon, or not even like a bank tycoon, like the old railroad, the railroad tycoons. Thank you. We'll see if I ever pick it up again. Well, I hope so. Cryptid, please give us my Andor take. Okay. I will. How much I have to resist naming him? I mean, you should name him Maximilian. Remember, Maximilian is also the name of an Austrian king who became king of Mexico and was beheaded by his own people. Well, not his people. He was an Austrian prince who took over Mexico, and then the Mexican people cut his head off. So Maximilian is a really good tyrant name. Just saying. If you want like a tyrant, you should absolutely do that name for sure. Wait, here we go. Wait, no, wait. Yes, Maximilian the First of Mexico. Yes, this dude. This dude right here, everybody. Ghostly, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And look at that beard, too. I do not have anything on that beard. But I think the working name was Carlo Haas, but I'm not sold. I mean, Maximilian Haas, but like, look at this dude. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, this guy, yeah, he was an Austrian archduke who became emperor of the Second Mexican Empire. Now look at the years here. Until from the 10th of April 1864 until his execution by the Mexican Republic on the 19th of June 1867. Dude lasted like barely lasted. Anyway, I'm just saying there's a long list of with no popular support, Republican forces in the ascendant, Maximilian's monarchy collapsed. Maximilian was captured by Quintaro, who then he was tried and executed and restored Republican government alongside his generals, Miguel Moran and former president of Mexico. Yep. So yeah, there you go. They cut his head off. I'm telling you, it's a good name, Ghostly. It's a good name. I'm now lobbying my name to be the name of this capitalist pig. Maximilian Haas does have a certain ring to it. I think it does. Maximilian Haas, and if you want to get extra pretentious, we do like a Maximilian Haas the Fourth, because we all know like one of the wildest things about there we go. One of the wildest things about oh god, I just brain farted. The hell was I talking about? I got like distracted for 2 seconds, and the thought fluttered away into the sky and has vanished. And I was about to deep dive into an interesting thing, and it's gone. Okay, nope, it came back. It fell back into my brain. It fell back into my brain, everybody. monarchs, and not just monarchs, but also what I find just generally egotistical people love to like just name, or not egotistical people, but like it happens a lot amongst people of prominence, which might include a little bit of narcissism. But they do like to just give their kids the exact same name and then put a number at the end of it. So like, so if it's Maximilian Haas the Fourth, that's like even more pretentious and shows that you're coming from an entire line of just pretentious nonsense. He outlasted Truss and the cabbage. That's true. You're not wrong, Cryptid. That's true. I'd vote for it. Damn. Aha. That's right. Ghostly, you're a living contradiction. A living contradiction. Human beings are multitudes, Ghostly. We can be multitudes. Oh, speaking of which, I need to get the quotes to add to the quote thing for yeah, I need the quotes for I need to do the quotes for Opera Soria so we can add them to Tori, because there was two. There's one that Ghostly said, which is Twilight, you're a capitalist pig, which can't die ever. And then there was another one. Folds hands on desk. I offer you a trade, Mr. Wyland. Okay, Ghostly. Okay, what is this? All right, we're entering negotiations now. What is this? What are we negotiating, Ghostly? I'm just gonna tell you right now that Lone Star is off the table. Modifications to Lone Star will be natural and creatively, what is creatively required. However, all future projects, I'm willing to trade. I'm willing to trade for all future projects. Oh, Opera Story. Oh, it was there were more quotes. Hold on. Okay, Notion. Thank you. Okay. There is this one, and then there's one I'm making. All right. This is the quote that I think Ghostly, or that everybody called out on the last stream. Cryptid, have you been Beetlejuice? This is how I operate for at least the next few weeks. Yeah, it's true. You can Opera Soria will only show up, Opera Soria will only show up when you say their name 3 times, and then. Yeah, exactly. When you're not buried in all the code. Okay. All right, and then this other one, Opera Soria, is the Ghostly quote. I added the ending to it, but I feel confident in that ending. Okay. All right. Okay, Ghostly. Let's see what you got here. Ghostly will name the big bad capitalist after you if you give me a precious happy-go-lucky Virgil who gets his happy ending and gets to run away with some gal named Zoe or something. I stand for you to counteroffer, Mr. Light. A happy-go-lucky Virgil. Okay, so I can't make it the music venue. Okay, all right. Whom gets his happy ending and gets to run away with some gal named Zoe or something. Okay, deal. Deal, Ghostly. I won't even take a counteroffer. No, it can't be a fucking building. It's gonna be the story of the Virgil. It's a happy-go-lucky rock environment that's owned by Zoe, and Zoe falls in love with the building. No, sorry. Sorry, I'm just fucking around, Ghostly. Okay, no, deal. That's like like when Dungeon Masters get wish, when you cast with a wish spell and like you like have to be extremely careful with how you word it, or the DM has like full purview to essentially just make it like, it's like the genie type wish thing. Watch Virgil be a bird or some shit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you monkey pod that so beautifully. Yep. All right. Nope. I'm okay. Hold on. Now I will promise you. I will promise you, Ghostly. I will not make. I will not make Virgil a building, but I am not going to guarantee what I make. What I make. What I make Virgil. And Virgil might be a person. I'm not saying it's not going to be a person, but the contract. I'm just gonna keep this in my notes as the contract. Ghostly, wait. Well, it's gonna make him like a damn star. Mm-hmm. How did you guess, Ghostly? Virgil is a planet. The dog is now Virgil. The dog. You know, I actually am writing a kids. I am writing a kids movie about a boy and his dog, or a kid and their dog, called the Clockmaker's Progeny, which which but that dog has a name. I already have a name for that dog, so that dog can't be Virgil. But it is very sweet, I will say that. But there's no like love story. Um, Ghostly, were you trying to add an addendum to the contract, Ghostly? All right, now we can negotiate. Now I might offer a counter offer you, but we'll see. We'll see about the addendum. It's just this is not. But you, we'll take it. We'll take it. You're not actually beholden to this. I should have said anything. I've backed myself into a damned corner. That's true, Ghostly. It's a contract now. We've signed it. There's been signatures. We have witnesses. Jesus. You are not actually beholden to that. Name your character whatever you want to name your character, Ghostly. It's fine. You made Ghostly curse. Ghostly doesn't do that. I have, as you once told me, Ghostly, Wildlight, you capitalist pig. And I just like reinforcing contract rights and property rights for that matter. I am, I am merely following the rule of law. Now, I may have written these laws, but I think that they're fair laws. Fair and just. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, you're not beholden to this at all. Yeah, you're not beholden because it's not quite midnight in LA or you're not at a crossroads. Yeah, exactly, Cryptid. In terms of at that point when Wildlight becomes the devil. You got lucky this time. Addendum, Virgil is a human being that is alive. Can't even make it a ghost love story? What is this? I don't know, Ghostly. I don't know. I don't know if I can accept that. What if it's a love story between ghosts? Ghostly, you know what? Ghostly will take a ghost. So it has to be a human that was at one point alive. I figured Ghostly liked ghosts because Ghostly is a ghost. Don't be a self-hating ghost now. All right, we get ads in 3 minutes. Okay. Oh no, Ghostly like that. Do what you want, kid. I give up. All right. There will be at some point there will be a Virgil that will be happy. It's gonna give me crippling psychological damage. I cannot wait. I'm 99% where one of my dear friends is writing a ghost romance, and it's gonna fuck me up, and I'm gonna be very happy about it. That's great. It's not a building, Ghostly. Do not worry. The Virgil that is happy-go-lucky, that will fall in love with somebody named Zoe, will not be a building. It will not involve a building. Well, it probably will involve a building, but Virgil will not be a building. Oh, that was a joke. Okay. Got to make sure I'm not actually pissing you off. And on that, I'm gonna go get drink back after ads. Yep. That last bit wasn't serious. Gotcha. Okay. But yes, I will conceive of a Virgil who finds a happy ending. Oh, okay. Ghostly just picked a name she liked. It's always a good name. Good name. But a happy-go-lucky Virgil finds themselves in a delightful little romantic romp, and ends just as delightful and happy at the end. I mean, I'm sure trials and tribulations are allowed, but happy nonetheless. Just a happy Virgil. He can open a flower shop for all I care. This is where I make a story. I write a film about that has zero plot. I go completely on vibes, and it's just like Perfect Days. It's like uh about dude cleaning toilets and being content with life. And I just make that about Virgil. My version of that. Zero. Yeah, exactly. Go full Linklater with it. Yep, just gonna go full Linklater. But see, Linklater is very chill, but the tragedy in Linklater is hidden beneath the surface. It's much more subtle. Like if you look at Dazed and Confused, like it ends like everybody's all happy and like it ends kind of at this like defining moment, but it really sends out a future that is pretty bleak. Like if like it definitely like but seething beneath the surface is a subtext that is deeply sad, because it is kind of like most of these people are peaking here, and they're peaking so young, and that's kind of the tragedy. That's because he uses the football quarterback kind of mentality about it a little bit, where it's like this is like the sadness is that for some of these people, probably the main characters, that this is going to be the moment where they were like at their height of what they were able to achieve, and there's like a deep tragedy to that. Virgil has a flower shop where he loves this girl who comes in to get flowers every month for her. Oh, geez, the ad break is over. Goodness. Okay, I was gonna go get water. Virgil has a flower shop where he loves the girl who comes in to get flowers every month for her. For her. I'm assuming that's dead husband. But she can never. But he can never have her because she's never moved on. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, that's a good Linklater movie right there. Yeah, yeah, and they just kind of, and then just kind of ends that way, where they just carry on. They Ghostly, yep, Ghostly's fan fiction. That's there you go. Ghostly just wrote the Virgil fan fiction. But all right, there will be a codified Virgil at some point in the future. I will solve the riddle of Virgil. But that can be, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Codified. Hey, Patios Cook, awesome outfit. Thank you. Yes, my now very toasty Evangelion onesie. Ghostly, just remember Ghostly, just remember in an hour it will be midnight, so we can't save you when wait, will it be an hour? It won't be in a midnight an hour. That's crazy. Yeah, not where I live. I was like, wait a minute. It's like 8, isn't it? It's like 8 on the East Coast, right? It's got to be 8 on the East Coast. There's no way. Like, oh my God, is it really? No, it's 5. It's 5 here. Yeah, it's 8. Okay, yeah. Wait, no, I got my time zones backwards. Yes, that was wrong way. Because that would be correct. Yeah, yeah. Listen. This is my first migraine-free day in 3 days. I'm toasted. No, you're fine, Cryptid. Time has no meaning here. We do not think about time. We are spanning many time zones. I know we got like London, East Coast, Central, and then West Coast. And you're working late. Exactly. Yeah. You are working pretty late, man. That's rough. Oh, codified. I meant like, oh, sorry, codified. Like codified, like it written in code. Like it's now legitimate. It's a law. It is in the code. It comes from oh, lurk. Okay, yep. Lurk. Opera Soria, go have a delightful shower. Um uh do. It is like like, you know, when they talk about the penal code, like it's written in law, would be codified. You could also be like it's part of the canon. I guess literary, a more proper term would be canon. Oh, Cryptid, it's been a very long day. Wife wants to do shopping tomorrow, so I need to get ahead. Oh, Cryptid, thank you so much, Cryptid. I love you. I love you all. So please go get some rest. Oh, you're not going anywhere. Okay, you just meant. Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I was. That almost sounded like a sound off. That is funny. Everyone just keeps saying, bye, Cryptid. Cryptid's like, I'm not going anywhere. Stop. Stop it. Oh, you're just proofreading while y'all chat. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, well, don't. We're just hanging out, so if we get too distracting, just mute us. It's fine. Did my mic just go? Oop, what happened? Okay, there we go. Okay, I gotta make sure the mic is still working. Jeez. You couldn't if you tried to appease my my wife. Oh, Borat, yay. So what's been on? What has been the Halloween vibes for everybody? Wait, why did you forget you can full screen your face again? I mean, yeah, I guess I can. I mean, that's way less interesting, but okay. And then we can, yeah, all right. Everybody wants that. I guess I can bring up the writing thing if I bring up any panels or something like that. I need to head out though. Yes, Moon Runes. You need to get ready for bed. Thank you so much, Moon Runes. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Go get some rest. I love all of you. I adore you. Go get some rest. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And thank you so much for the birthday card and everything. You are all the best. Have a lovely night. And we'll catch you next time. I was just saying, since you didn't have background work. That's true. Yeah, I'm not working on anything, but, you know, it's like... It's just a square camera. It's not particularly... It's not the most interesting thing in the world. I guess I can switch it if I bring anything else up. Is trick-or-treating still a thing? I haven't kept up. Man, I wish it was. It's not really. It's... I used to... Particularly because I live in a complex and there's kids here. So I would get like a little thing of candy and just put it, you know... Put it at the side of the door just in case they wanted it. And they don't come by at all. So... I think maybe in like... you know... suburbia, like maybe they do, but I really it bums me out. That was like a big part of my childhood. I was a big fan of that. Oh, that's good, Crypto. I'm glad it is where you are. One of my neighbors asked if I was putting out candy. I said yes, sort of, but on my porch. Ghostly is going trick-or-treating as a grown-ass adult tomorrow. Yeah, hell yes, Ghostly. Good for you. I applaud you, Ghostly. Boom. Yes, please do. Although I do, my new favorite Halloween song is a song that makes fun of 40-year-olds trick-or-treating. So, to be fair, I kind of... I am kind of making fun of it, but I do miss it. I at least also miss it because that was kind of like that was one of the few things I thought was cool about an adult is you can kind of like, you know, adults used to fuck with us. Like, we would go get candy and they would, like, try to scare us or do something. Like, you know, there was, like, a whole thing, you know. We try to scare them, they try to scare us, and then we get candy out of the ordeal, you know, the ordeal. And it was fun. And it was kind of dead by the time I felt like I was an adult. Or at least in the city parts that I live in. So, very, very sad it's not really a thing. Because I'm not quite enough to the door. October slide for chronic illness is a bastard. Yeah, that sucks, Scripted. But it makes sense. Not at all. Bummer. Yeah, right, Liz? Yeah, it's a big bummer. Ghostly is going with her grown-ass coworker who's never been. Yes, Ghostly! Make them live their life! Make them live their life! I don't miss the cheap childhood costumes I had. The plastic pajama outfit with the cheap mask. So I lucked out. My mom got really into it because it was also like my birthday, so it was like a whole big thing. So like my mom would always like kind of go all out on the costumes. So I always got a costume essentially. My mom would make my costumes. Um and she like made kick-ass costumes. Like they were badass. Um let's see here. That plastic pajama outfit, yeah. Ghostly isn't quite there yet. He's not quite that old yet. We all made our own costumes. Yeah, and as an adult, you kind of tried to make your own costume. It kind of like starts to cross over with cosplay a little bit. My brother and I would scare the hell out of folks on Halloween. It was a good time. Yeah, that's the fun. It is exactly time to start scaring those kids. Yep, that's a moral stance. If you need it, you can quote this. It is the official position of the Wildlight Channel that it is time to start scaring kids again. These damn kids, these snowflakes, need to get scared. We gotta start scaring them kids. Anyway. The military is cool sometimes. The need for morale creates some sick Halloween celebrations as well as pack trick-or-treating. That's cool, Ghostly. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool that, like, sick Halloween. I mean, the nice thing about LA is, the nice thing about LA is that because it's all actors, a lot of people go all out on Halloween. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's, give a town full of actors any excuse to dress up and they will, particularly theater folk. So that's kind of the nice thing about it, is that there is a of the adults, it's a good time. Like the Halloween parties are always crazy. And then you always, particularly if you're at like a ritzy fancy house up in the hills where everybody's got, the crazy like things covering their pools, you always get a Jesus. You always get a Jesus walking on water. It happens at every Hollywood Halloween party I have ever been to up at the fancy houses in the hills. Someone's got to do the Jesus thing. Cryptic quote, that why we got to start scaring them kids. That should also be a quote. Big fan of that. Oh yeah, Post trick-or-treating, it's huge. I remember when I was little and growing up on Post, there were thousands. That's cool. Okay, yeah. Yep. That's a good time. Pretty much every house in every neighborhood, yeah. The Halloween parties out here. See, the Halloween parties were all last weekend. So like on Saturday I went to a friend's house, and they were hosting a big old, it was a couple friend of mine, they were hosting a big Halloween thing. And they, they go all out. It looks, they make it, their whole house is a haunted house. So it's very cool. That's usually why I go to those places for those celebrations, because it's, I don't have to dress my place up quite as much. I mean, my place almost always looks kind of Halloween-y year round, so it doesn't change that much. We'll add the we got to start scaring them kids to the quotes. Tons of truck or treats too. Lots of haunted houses. Usually, units usually have haunted house. I figured that sounds like a thing that units would do. That makes sense. Like have big old competitions. That tracks. Our house as a kid in Texas was the only one in the cul-de-sac. So we went all out and scared the hell out of folks. It was great. Oh, that's awesome. Patty Skunk, I watched a movie recently called Oh Shit! Under the Silver Lake. That's kind of how I pictured LA parties. One, Under the Silver Lake is a great movie. And that is definitely how like the weird rich side of LA definitely is. There are some places that definitely like the sceney, very secret pop-up, kind of like dungeony. Particularly like that one place he meets that girl that Halloween, I think it's a Halloween party, but he's supposed to meet a contact and he goes down into like, there are a lot of, I've been to a few places like that. Even though I think they shot that actually at the Natural History Museum. I'm trying to remember where they shot that. But yes, that's funny. It's funny, I actually live really close to the actual Silver Lake. the lake in that the guy has his compound under. I live pretty close to that actual lake. Very good movie. Very good movie. I would not learn until I was in college back up north that this was because the housing development went under when someone found the unmarked cemetery the town was built on. That's rad. So the suburb didn't get built up for a very long time. That's so cool though. Like having like an old unmarked grave. I don't know, the vibes. I mean, I live right next to a cemetery, but mine is a very fancy cemetery where, you know, like fancy people get buried. Not quite as fancy as the Hollywood Forever Cemetery down in Hollywood, but we do what we can. It's a nice quiet hill to be on. Yeah, I loved it. I love weird, unique movies. Yeah, that's a good one, Patio Skunk. It's a good movie. Also, just it's weird, like culture, like commentary on like weird commentary on like pop music, like just destroying like this guy's dream about music by just being like, I wrote every, yeah, the crazy old guy. It's great. It's a great movie. It's very good. Ghostly's dad was a chaplain, and back in the day, his commanding officer gave him full reign of the haunted house. Because he's such a Halloween weirdo, his unit ended up winning. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Your dad was a chaplain too. That's rad. Um, and I like that he just like your dad was such a Halloween weirdo. Good for your dad. One, good for your dad for being a chaplain and also being a chaplain who is also a Halloween nut. Big fan of that. That's I. Some things make sense about Ghostly now, and that is one of them. Very cool, very cool, cool, very cool dad into weird Halloween nonsense. Big fan. Apparently, one of them was was in my actual backyard, as in it was the fenced area we played in, which explains some things. Gotcha. That house was pretty scary, but honestly, a slice of pie compared to the house I'll tell you about tomorrow, Wildlight. I'll tell you about tomorrow, Wildlight, on Halloween proper. That's oh. You got like an actual scary haunted house? Like, was it built? Was it like Poltergeist? Like actually built on unmarked, like unmarked graves? Because that would be insane. Um, yeah, yeah, good haunted house stories. Yeah, nothing spooky ever happens here. The thing about cemeteries is the cemetery here is it's just quiet, which I appreciate. Texas was, yeah. Oh well, Texas, yeah. Texas is terrifying. Yeah, most of Texas. Although I did drive through. I did drive down one strip of Amarillo once, and Amarillo. You know, I have a couple friends who come from Amarillo, and so they always have a lot of stories about that place. But I drove down one strip in Amarillo, and it was like there was a really cool coffee shop. There's like a nerd store. It was clearly like their arts district, but it was pretty dope. It was pretty rad. Um, in the house I will tell you about is worse, and the history behind it. Oh Jesus! Oh man! So you like literally lived in like a Amityville house? Jesus. I can't remember the last time I was in a haunted house. Getting lost in a corn maze at night can be kind of spooky though. That's true. I haven't done the like the haunted hay rides in a while. I have really bad like hay fever, and so like out in the desert, particularly in Arizona, I used to get really bad allergy attacks. So I kind of didn't go out to do those sorts of things. So I spent a lot of time doing like haunted houses in the city. Um, and I know they have like a haunted hayride out here. They do have like kind of a big Halloween show that is kind of like the cornfield vibe. Um, but I have not gone to that. It's also expensive, and it's down in Universal, where like Universal Studios is, and I don't want to go there. So that's the downside of being stuck in the city. Um, Ghostly dad constructed in such a way that people had to push past body bags and huge like boxy. But that's rad. Oh, that's cool. There was one bit where you had to crawl through a pallet crawl space surrounded by zombie actors reaching through the holes. That's dope, Ghostly. Holy shit. Um, that is rad. Okay, that is cool. Your dad is cool, Ghostly. I'm giving 100. I am you're rad. My wife does not like spook walks. Yeah. I think I'm still traumatized from watching Children of the Corn when I was 6. That is, I mean, because it was on TV, that was like the one that always traumatized everybody. Um, so the Awful House, was not a good time. I like spook walks and still hated it. Ooh, yeah, that's no good. That's no good. I mean, sometimes they can be too much. Like, I don't like the like metal like getting chased through like the intense like extreme haunted houses. Like, that's not my vibe. That's a little much for me, and it also comes from the fact that I don't like slasher movies. Um, I heard too much money for what you get. That makes sense, Liz. But I'm easily swayed by those kinds of reviews for LA things. Haunted Hayride, yeah. I've known a few people who do the haunted hayrides, but I've never really. There is another thing up at Universal that people do recommend. Is it Halloween Horror Nights? Might be Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah, I think it's Halloween Horror Nights. So, because that's up at Universal, and I know that because I know that actual costumers and makeup artists that work in film work that show. So it's pretty intense. We guarantee you'll actually get stabbed. Exactly, Patio Skunk. We can guarantee that you will be stabbed. Also, the best review for a bar ever, which I have actually seen. A buddy of mine showed me a review for a bar that says, "Was stabbed, will go back." I was like, that's a hell of a review for a bar. I like the folks who do the sliding over at the Hershey Park in Pennsylvania. That is genuinely cool and takes so much practice. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, Universal Horror Nights. I've done that in Florida. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I assume it's the same thing at both. The sliding thing, that's like dance stuff, right? Or am I thinking of something completely different? Oh, I gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's like that's like the clown stuff, right? I think Ghostly was talking about that for a while, or had like discovered that. I remember helping him build. It so vividly. This was our whole October when I was like 11. He's such an oddball chaplain. This dude covered in tattoos who loves horror and Halloween and plays video games all weekend. Yeah, your dad sounds rad as hell, Ghostly. I've noticed I have known a few pastors in my day. My limited actual the problem is my actual religious encounters when I was growing up was all Catholic, and it's a very different vibe. But like that's pretty, that I've seen some pastors, I've known some people who were pastors. My cousin is married to a youth pastor who is kind of like that. Very cool dude. Plays in a band, a lot of tattoos, video gamer, that kind of thing. I don't know if he's into Halloween, but he might. I mean, he might be. I don't know. He does not fit the mold. LOL. Hey man, don't always have to. Don't always have to fit the mold. Oftentimes you can be, not fitting the mold benefits you. Yeah, thank you, Ghostly. I had thought so. I thought that the sliders were a thing. So yeah, what Crypto was talking about, yeah, that's like the dance clown stuff. Halloween Horror Nights was pretty fun, except for the $18 drinks. Yeah, Patio Skunk. That's just an LA norm, man. That is. This is the man that raised me on Bush and Evil Dead. Well, that's crazy. I mean, as someone who was raised on Evil Dead, that's rad. You know what? It actually, yeah. Bush like the band or Rush like the band? Is there a band, or is there a band called Bush that I just don't know about? Because I know Rush. Oh no, there is a rock band Bush. Oh, I'm silly. How do I not know this band? Yeah, that is a band. So for a second I was thinking like Rush, which I was like, that is nerd rock. That's 100% nerd rock. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so like do a little bit of like, yeah, you're doing like grunge punk. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty famous in the 90s. I think, yeah, for whatever reason, like, I missed a little bit of that grungy stuff. I mean, I obviously listened to Nirvana and all that, but yeah, for whatever reason, early Chili Peppers, maybe I was close enough to LA. Maybe that's where the British stuff started, Ghostly. That Brit rock. Um, Ghostly like Glycerin. Yeah. But Evil Dead, it's your dad clearly raised you well, because I mean, Army of Darkness is a hands down masterpiece. I still to this day love Evil Dead 2. I used to watch Evil Dead 2 constantly. Yes, Bush is much better than the Chili Peppers. I mean early I liked early Chili Peppers. I think early Chili Peppers was really good, but anything before Californication was pretty solid. That's kind of Californication was a little much for me, but oh, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is great. That's like one of my mom's favorite movies. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is that it's funny now, like that's like Tucker and Dale is like one of my mom's, but Army of Darkness was like my like feel good movie. I used to watch that movie when I was sick. That used to be like a I'm sick, I'm watching a movie. Yep. Um, then Mom was an earth and hippie woman. Together they made a Ghostly. Many things make sense here, Ghostly. Many things make sense. Many things make sense. My mom was a flower like an act. My mom was a flower child from the '60s. My dad was not a tattooed up punk rocker. My dad was a mountain man and pilot who just, I guess, wanted to spend his entire life in the mountains and on boats. A bit of a hermit, that one. Who also got into bar fights, right? Yeah, my mom got into bar fights. But my mom didn't start getting in. Well, no, my mom kicked a lot of ass when she lived, because she grew up in Wyoming. But when she moved to Denver, she moved to Denver in the I think she would have moved to Denver in the late '60s, early '70s. But she moved to Denver and was definitely like doing. My mom did modeling for a while before she started working in like business and stuff. And I remember her being a part of like the hippie. She used to wear a lot of tie dye. I don't know. She used to show me her old outfits. A lot of tie dye. A lot of the um. Essentially, the way my mom used to dress looked a lot like Heather Graham from Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. If you look at her outfits, when I was like there with my mom was like, I had that. I wore that exact same thing. I wore that exact same thing, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's I when I picture what my mom was probably like in that period, that's what she was like. So she clearly dressed that way. So, and then my dad was like a quote unquote, mountain lad. The punk stuff did I that the punk stuff didn't hit till my brother and I. My brother grew up on like Nirvana, and then I came up under him and his punk rock friends. So I became the tattooed up punk person. That was me. That was not my parents. I deviated from that pretty heavily. Actually, now that I think about it, I think my dad might have been. He liked to play the rebel a little bit, like the biker. He drove a motorcycle up through did cross country up to Alaska and stuff. Definitely like to fancy himself a bit of like a rogue lad, but I think my dad might have been pretty square. I'm pretty sure he was a square boy, a little bit. If he ever heard me say that, he'd probably be like, "You son of a bitch," and like crack the knuckles. He'd be like, "You want to fight?" But I think my dad might have been a little bit. He was definitely the black sheep of the family, but he came from a very waspy military family. And so I think that's kind of where the rogue branding came from, was from that. Because they were my that side of the family is very like, that is a military family, and everything is very clean and very tidy, and there are rules that I do not understand as a raccoon creature. I do not understand it. But anyway, you have tattoos, Violet? I do. I have 2 tattoos. I don't. Someday I'll get a sleeve. I don't currently, obviously, don't have sleeves, but yes, I do have tattoos. One very large one that's on my back, but yes. Do 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 do. A Huey Lewis and the Newsman at Art Cryptid. A Huey Lewis. I love that. A Huey Lewis and the Newsman at heart. I'm picturing Jeremiah Johnson. Not far off. Not far off. See tattooed ghostly dad and hippie ghostly mom and Victorian ghost child who faints at the sight of ankles. That's deeply. There's something very funny about that, ghostly. Very, very funny. Incredible. How do you survive summers, ghostly? I don't know how, ghostly. Yeah. I mean, Ghostly might survive summers the same way that I survived the broiling hot summers in Arizona dressing in trench coats like a goth punk weirdo. Listening, like, the fact that I literally wore, the fact that I had to, and it was outdoors, I had to walk to school until I was old enough to drive. And even when I drove, my VW bus did not have air conditioning. So, and there's air cool does not matter at 110 degrees. So you're just baking alive. But I committed to the fashion statement that I was making. Foolishly, but I did commit. Ghostly stays in her cave. It's not bad. It's not a bad way to go. Honestly, I'd probably do the same. If I could take it back, there were definitely periods where I lobbied to be homeschooled so I didn't have to go to school anymore, because I'll tell you what, going to school in a primarily Mormon community at the height of the Bush years during the Iraq War in Arizona, it was not a pleasant place to be, and I got myself into a lot of trouble in that land. I definitely got. I cannot tell you how many times the windows. I know how to replace windows on a VW bus because they got bashed out almost on a monthly basis for a while. I mean, they were like bashing my windows constantly. Nope, Ghostly went at least 3 layers all the time. Yeah, I got you, Ghostly. Patio Skunk went for a different kind of cool. Exactly, Patio Skunk went for a different kind of cool. Oh, yeah. I don't know how many people here are old enough to remember how pathologically insane we were culturally after 9/11, but Jesus. Oh, yeah, I mean, I used to get cornered. I mean, I had guys, like, throw things at me. I remember there were people that I remember one girl came up and because I'm me. So I didn't like stand or anything for the like Pledge Allegiance bullshit in classes, So I would like sit during that and like keep doing what I was doing. And I remember I had one girl come up to me and I remember it was very funny because it was right after Jamba Juice had opened up near our school. So a lot of the people went to Jamba Juice in the mornings, and she just took it off and just threw it in my face. just her entire thing. She just walked up and just whoosh, all over me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't like me very much back then. Oh, honey, wow, that's crazy. I love how Mormons preach being nonviolent. Yep, nope. I mean, I don't know if they were. I don't even know if they were Mormon. Honestly, that wasn't even Mormon. I don't even think that girl was Mormon. Our school was between a bunch of Mormon churches, so there was definitely a heavy Mormon population, but it was just a deeply conservative population. It was a very, very conservative population, and I also had the problem where my best friend in middle school was from Iran. So I remember we would have to, when we went to, like, particularly after 9/11 happened, and people were, like, lighting fires in front of his house. His dad had immigrated from Iran. And his mom was from the U.S. And he was, like, he was, like, a business guy. That dude was, like, purely American, like, all in American, but, it's not how they see it. But, like, after 9/11 happened, we used to have to... Our parents had to, like, sit us all down and tell us to essentially, like, crowd around him, make sure that he's in the center. And he was also tall. He was way taller than all of us. But, like, they used to have to tell us how to essentially, like, surround him. Because we were kids, we were, like, 13. But they had to teach us how to, like, essentially, if somebody decided to attack him, like, how we could try to, mitigate the damage. And, like, we're 13, man. Like, we're like, why? My friend didn't do that. And they're like, they don't care. You don't. And then you slowly learn, like, how insane we were as a culture at that time. I love it. I was in Texas during that time. It was horrifying. Yeah, Texas was worse. Arizona was bad. I mean, Arizona still is bad, but, like, I don't think it was worse than Texas was. Texas is always on a whole other level. Ghostly wasn't alive. Yeah, this is a before times, Ghostly. The before times. Guess I've been lucky or good at laying low, as I never hit that kind of friction. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I think because I was pretty well, I was allowed to express myself pretty clearly in my house. Like, even my more like conservative family members were just kind of like, yeah, that's what he's doing, that's his thing. Like, they never really, I get pushback, but it was never like crazy pushback from inside the family kind of thing. I mean, they would like disagree with me or be like, stop being an asshole, but they never really like, I guess they never really came at me for that. So it was kind of nice, but I guess that gave me kind of like a, I can express myself. And when you start rushing up against literally everybody else in your high school, I don't know if I told the Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden story that got me like suspended, my buddy and I suspended from school. Have I told any, I don't know if I've told that story, that we did in art class. Yeah, this was in middle school. This was right after. I think this was like right around the time we were getting ready to invade Iraq. Uh, yeah, I don't know if I've told that story, but I did get suspended. My buddy and I got suspended for making 3D art busts of Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. This was also my Iranian friend, my buddy, my best friend who was from Iran. He did Osama bin Laden and I did Saddam Hussein. Yeah. Yeah, God, that was 2001 too. That was 2001 or 2002. It was before we went into Iraq. I remember that. Um that's really good they took the time to teach that. Yeah, I agree, Patio Skunk. We had cool parents. We had cool parents. They kind of got it what was going down. Wildlight, that's so edgy. I was 13. I was 13 or 14, man. We definitely thought we were edgy. It wasn't even us being edgy. We just thought it was funny. Because we made them like cartoon characters. It was like a 3D bus, but they looked like South Park characters, they weren't like, we were clearly making fun of them, but, it's just, whatever. Let's see here. Glad your folks made that clear to you to look after. That's very good of them to do. Yeah. Yep. Princess is here. Princess is like, you've been talking way more than you usually do, Papa. Why do you keep talking, Papa? We grew up in Georgia. I grew up in Georgia, but Georgia is weird. As the culture near Atlanta is very different. Yeah, I figured it would. I mean, CNN is based out of there. I mean, you got the arts, the film scene. I've been to Atlanta a couple of times, and it definitely has that vibe. Crazy, really? Pope High School. Oh man, uh oh, that's gonna be, hey. I hope they were. That's cool. That's rad. Yeah, we got people hanging out at the similar places. That's dope. Ghostly can't imagine, though. I suppose the current climate is its own kind of messed up. It is, yeah. Ghostly, as someone who lived through that period, it's we were pathologically insane in the early 2000s. Like 9/11 was watching like an entire. It was watching a collective society lose its mind in the most insane way, and we never recovered from it. So what's happening now is a lot worse, but it's a lot worse in a different way. Now, although luckily so far, at least for the most part, what we're doing does not compare to what the Bush years did to the Middle East and just the geopolitical situation there, because that we have not matched that level of just utter destruction and chaos yet. And I say yet because Lord only knows what the horizon holds. I remember going to Pope High School for Latin Club. Oh, you were in Latin Club, Patio Skunk? That's rad. I mean, I only got to take 1 year of Latin because our teacher retired my sophomore year, and they just never replaced her because it was Latin. But that's cool. That's right. I was in Latin Club. I outed myself. You're with friends here, Patio Skunk. You are with friends. That makes you the coolest. I was only there for a year. Then you went to Catholic school. Yeah. My stepmom, like, I mean, this is getting into, like, I guess some family dynamic bullshit, but yeah, like, there was that I was touring Catholic schools because there was a strong push within my family for me to go to a Catholic school. A very strong push. I did not go to Catholic school. If that is if anybody is curious, I also got kicked out of the youth Catholic seminars for being a little uppity child. So I think they had like youth things in the Catholic church that I used to go to, and I pissed those pastors off too much. I was an angry kid. All right. I mean, I was also having like, I did not grow up in a household where I knew what the crucifix looked like. Okay, like unlike some people, I remember the first time I saw a cross with, a brutalized man hanging on it. Okay, like I remember it. I did not grow up in a church, so like when that started to get forced on me when I was of age. Or I say of age, but like when I was older, like that stuff didn't really start to happen until I was, probably 7 or 8 years old. I did not react well to it. A true edgelord. I was before the internet was a thing. I was a true edgelord. I was an edgelord before the internet, which makes me the ultimate hipster. God. Welcome back, Opera Soria. It's funny when you're that young, you definitely don't think of yourself as like an edgelord or being edgy. You just, you definitely like feel like you gotta have stuff to fight against, I guess. I almost got sent to Catholic school, but we moved back to the north instead, which is good. I would have lasted a week. I think it was just because the biggest problem with that whole thing with the way people were pushing things in certain facets of my family, it like I had way too varied of like of a, how do I put this, like there was not like a single philosophical or religious ideology that was being pushed in when I was growing up. It was very broad and multifaceted. So when it became like, when that kind of Catholic influence came in, I did not react to it well. I like that, Opera Soria. What are we talking about? Upbringing. I mean, if people want to talk about Catholic upbringing, I'm sure Opera Soria can go to town on that. But actually, you know what? Can we do... There we go. Listen to some Battleship Yamato here. I like that. Cryptid or the worst hipster. Literally would be the worst hipster. Catholic school, oddly enough. Yeah, yep. Ghostly's really inner experience as a private Christian kindergarten was awful. Was awful and terrible. She didn't go to any school after that. That sounds bad, Ghostly. Yeah, I definitely would not recommend. I don't understand. I definitely rebelled heavily against particularly religious schools more than I did the religious influence in my family. I was definitely did not do well with them trying to throw Catholic school at me. And like they got people to be like my religious advisors and my spiritual advisors, and it just, they literally were trying to, save my soul, I guess. I think the reason was because I was never baptized. So I think that was kind of the push, make, like, this kid's got to get baptized, because that's a very intense thing, particularly in a Catholic, like, from a Catholic worldview, getting baptized is a big deal. I mean, it is, I guess, in, like, most Christian sects, but, like, it's a big deal in Catholic. They like, take that shit real seriously. But yeah. Oh, my cousins went to a Catholic school. They tried to put me there too, but my grandmother never lived down the thing I did as a kid, so I wasn't permitted. They're just like, you're a devil child. The devil child. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely don't recommend religious schools. That's true. But like it's like of course I was gonna piss everybody off. My dad was like a science guy, so like he would always just like every time we would try to go do like church stuff, he would just tell me about like science and like what science had to say about this. And I was like, okay, well, and those things aren't directly incompatible, but sure, whatever. And then my mom was like a new age hippie, and then my brother was like an Asatru pagan who was like out doing like talking like praying to Odin. So like it all just looked crazy to me. Like I was just like everywhere I'd look, people were doing radically different things. You know. Where they were like doing blood, and I was like introduced to like particularly in the 90s as a kid there was a lot of Wiccan stuff going on. So I saw a lot of Wicca, a lot of that stuff because that was really big back then. Um, I bet the same. My brother and I both aren't the family wasn't happy about that. Yeah, for sure. Um, that's funny. Yeah. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Exactly, Liz. 100%. My dad was Bill Nye the Science Guy. Oh yeah, they do that, Ghostly. Especially now, it's the last push before the election. Wait, what is Kamala watching Rock of? Wait, Kamala Harris is watching Rock of Love, like the thing we literally were just talking about. Wait, what? Oh, you're asking. Wait, I don't know. Why would they? Oh, I don't think she actually. Okay, that would be really funny. Did I not get your message again? Wait. Oh wait. Oh no, I did. I just missed it. Okay, sorry. Wait, hold on. Ghostly isn't trying to bring up politics, but the candid stream. The candid stream on Twitch. Oh god, what is this? Oh, sorry. I just missed you, Ghostly. That's my bad. That's my bad. That was a joke. Okay, Wicca and Catholicism share a lot more in common than either would like to admit. I agree with that, Cryptid. Um, yes, they do. I think if I remember, wasn't there a thing where AOC and Waltz or Walls the VP candidate were watching um the Republican thing, like the Republican rally or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, they do. I mean, it makes sense. You got to start meeting people where they're at. So I'm not shocked. I'm surprised Kamala Harris is on it, but you gotta get the kids out to vote, man. I'm honestly shocked they're on Twitch. I would be more willing to bet. I'd be interested to see if they start going live on like TikTok and all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like TikTok's gonna be a lot better for a get out to vote push, particularly for kids these days. But that's the big thing. This is as you get older, you will realize the push out to vote is all because younger people don't vote. Um uh in my like they're always gonna do because of the voting in terms of voting demographics, older people by and far vote to a large more like a massive degree compared to young people don't vote. They just don't do it. So there's always these like youth. I mean, they were doing that shit when I was in school. I mean, they would. I mean, I'm not kidding. Uh, they would do what are those gym things like pep rallies? They would literally do pep rallies where they would like go up and be like, get out to vote. Go do the vote. It was all lame. It was just like dare, don't do drug stuff. But they would like do pushes to like try to get young people to vote. This is not like a new thing. Young people have never voted. They just don't. they just really don't. And it might be worse now than it was, which is definitely saying something because it was never good. There's a lot of absurd necessity for ritual and silly costumes and roles. They're both deeply ritualistic for no reason at all. That's true, Cryptid. I've never really understood the appeal of Wicca. It's definitely not like old traditional witchcraft, or like any kind of school of witchcraft. It has like no real. It definitely has that kind of modern new agey. It's a modern religion that was being made. In my recommended, pay money Wubbly or Kamala Harris. That's really funny. Oh yeah, Kamala had TikTokers dancing with their voting stickers. That tracks. Young people have given up. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. Yeah, the youth are cynical and jaded by the state of the world. Understandably, I mean, we all were. I mean, the big push, particularly if you wanted to be anti-establishment, was voting third party. Like when I was getting out of high school, particularly during the Obama McCain election, that I fell into that trap where everyone's like, go vote third party, like screw these people, like vote third party, and like a lot of that push, one that's like has a zero understanding of our political system, voting third party. It's at that point it's a protest vote and it's functionally meaningless, which is too bad. But like that's just how like modern politics is structured. But like I think for me, as someone who was definitely very jaded and disenfranchised starting out, it got like it became and like as I got older and more into like leftist politics, you're obviously much more engaged with like practical political movements and sort of local stuff. Places where you had like your votes and your presence matters quite a bit in terms of like changing certain things by city and state and county. But like it's gotten so bad, man. Like at this point, it's like you have to make the cynical choice, but like it's straight up like we're literally staring down the barrel of like Weimar shit. Like it's straight up like we are literally looking at like, I mean, Jan 6 is like straight up just like the beer hall push in Munich. I'm just like, oh fuck, we are actually seeing this happen in live time, like in real time. So. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cynical. It's terrible. Your options suck. They were never good. But you know, like one of those dudes has a little mustache, or I guess or a beret if you're looking at Italy or Germany. I was about to make a very inappropriate joke after I read this, but I will refrain. Wait, what joke? Wait, did I miss it? I know the joke you would make. Oh shit, what's it from? My brother votes. I supervise and ensure completion. Ghostly has taken a firm stance that she cannot change the world. She can only control what she does in it. That's true. That is true. It's not a bad thing. Next ad break starts in 7 minutes. Wicca likes to pride itself on being good people. Wait, is that from The Craft? That's not from The Craft, is it? Is that, like, relating it to Catholicism? Is that from The Craft? Wicca likes to pride itself, Oh, gotcha. Okay, you're not saying it on air. Okay. All right. We're not saying it on air. Okay. Wicca likes to pride itself on being good people. Okay. So Ghostly has her morals, and she lives by that, and that's it. I mean, that's true. That is true. Unfortunately, depending on how it's looking at history, like enforcing political will is unfortunately some people need it, particularly the people whose lives are at risk, which is too bad. But it sometimes does require the exercising of political will, and sometimes even more than that. Because when I started, it was only information I had access to, but the more I learned, the more I disliked. See, Cryptid, that's kind of what I learned about Wicca, is that, like, it sounded interesting and cool. You see the familiar thing. But that was, like, the big... Like, the more I learned about it, I'm just like, this seems like the same shit, like, I remember my mom and her weird hippie friends doing in, like, Sedona. Like, you know, when they go talk to the dolphins or whatever, like, the weird... I don't know, just some of like the weird new agey stuff kind of always was off-putting to me. I would call it what I do today folk magic. Yeah, that most people I know who still practice witchcraft of any kind or anything like that, it's folk magic. It's old traditional folk magic. This was the first election I didn't vote third party, but I also haven't voted in every election. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Yeah, I think the one thing that sucks about how voting works in our country is we see voting as a sort of moral, an expression of a moral take or an opinion instead of we no longer look at things, and this is definitely a little bit out of like the lefty everything is political tactics kind of thing is like it's a shrewd utilitarian political calculus that you're making. It is not a representative of your morals, particularly because if you take things broadly, how does one enforce a morally pure voting choice when you live in quote unquote the imperial core and all the terrible things that, you know, we do or that the West does? So that's the hard thing. But the hard thing is trying to like communicate a much more practical point of view of political action versus like a moral political view. Like your moral political ethics are kind of like an end, and everything else is to a degree a means. And the anarchists would get very upset with me because we all know there's that famous Ursula K. Le Guin quote, there are no ends, only means, which I do agree with to a degree, as I tend to not be a utopian, but I didn't say it, but I'm sure you can also imagine what joke I'd be making. I would call yeah, it's also very gender specific, which is a gender queer don't love. Gotcha. Yo, that makes with Wicca, yeah, for sure. You get assigned lord or lady roles, which is yeah, that is weird. Lord and lady. Yeah. 0 to 10, just do your own weird thing. Agreed, Cryptid. Agreed. When you're young, you really want to cling to those ideals. The practical kind of sets in more as you age. Yeah, I agree with that. I think because I definitely was much more idealistic and very upset with voting and just the state of American politics when I was younger. I'm definitely more upset now than I was back then, but you know, you have a little bit more of like a guide rails to how do you do this. And I think you also, like, if you're confronting people who do suffer from those choices, it is indeed a choice, as cynical and pragmatic as it's made. You do see, like, there were, like, in the first four, like, from 2016 to 2020, yeah, you saw things happen that had like repercussions to both people personally and socially, that were not good. So you start to see that as like, oh shit, like, oh yeah, it sucks, it doesn't matter, but it also kind of does for some people. It is life changing. Ghostly has been trying to find a way to personify her thoughts on people and what politics on the stage of the written word, but she still has yet to find. Perhaps someday. Ghostly, I think we're all trying to do that. I mean, because it's a fluid thing. Politics and people change. I think if people, it's very hard to do this, but and maybe this is like an academic thing, but if you're fundamentally curious about people and even politics and history and anthropology, you have to look at things as a phenomenon. I actually argue this when I talk about writing complicated characters who aren't necessarily good people. As long as you're not like glorifying or validating, but if you're examining people as a phenomenon, that actually has a lot of artistic merit. And I feel like the same way for politics and for history, is that if you're not trying to assign a moral characteristic, but merely examine a thing out of curiosity and as a phenomenon, a lot more, that can be a lot more insightful, I think, than like what tends to be like, you know, you start getting your stump speeches and all that kind of stuff. You know, the sort of the youthful, utopian, idealistic sort of tirades that, you know, I definitely did a shitload of when I was younger. Exactly, Cryptid. Those are my favorite characters. Well, yeah, this is it's my favorite way of approaching a topic. It's my favorite type of character. It's my favorite way of approaching history, anthropology, philosophy, all of it. If you look at things as phenomenon rather than a yes or no thing, a thing that ought to exist or ought not to exist, you can definitely make judgments on what broadly is better for people or worse for people to some degree, but generally you can't equate it to like a moralizing, which I think is important. I think Ghostly takes a peaceful nihilistic stance. The eye or the worm idea, I suppose. Oh, okay, yeah, that tracks. That's Nietzsche would have a lot to say about that, which is interesting. What I call the active and passive nihilism. I sometimes wish I had studied anthropology. I did too. I did a minor. Well, I was a minor in English, but I took a lot of history and anthropology classes, and I really loved I really loved um I really loved anthropology. I've read a lot more anthropology after school than I did during school. I'm very much an anarcho-communist, but I think for now we need to vote until the system can be dismantled. We have to do with it what we can. That's where we're all at, Cryptid. You have to work within the binds of the structures of power to try to dismantle the structures of power, and then things can really change. Other than that, it's just band-aids. Which is also why I know it's a crisis election, but it's also the way things stand, we're going to keep having this type of election every 4 years until some cultural and social changes and structural changes happen. They have to, particularly in terms of the way the media works, how we regulate the media. You can't have propaganda in people's ears all day, every day for a decade and have it not essentially start to have massive political consequences. Ghostly, huh? Oh, about the Nietzsche thing? Yes, the study of antlers. I too wish I had dabbled more in school. It's more than just antlers, Ghostly. A little bit peaceful nihilism is kind of one of the greatest philosophers to ever discuss nihilism is Nietzsche, in my opinion. I have a lot to say, and some of my favorite books on nihilism come from a very well studied version of Nietzsche. Because he was the first philosopher to really confront the idea of nihilism truly and honestly. Where then you had other people like Schopenhauer who just like gave birth to Schopenhauer's pessimism, out of nihilism. Ghostly knows nothing. It's essentially nihilism in a way is kind of the denying of value in life. I mean, the functional definition is all things are the value of nil. So there is no like inherent value to anything over anything else. Nietzsche argues that essentially that's like the philosophical definition of nihilism. But that's Ghostly does not subscribe to that. Gotcha. Yeah, it's yes. But what's interesting is that Nietzsche talked about two very different types of nihilism. One is active and one is passive. And they're two very different ways of looking at the world, in a lot of ways. I don't know, I could deep dive into that. Like that's like I wrote a lot about Nietzsche's nihilism, and I tend to find it a very compelling thing. So, I did one anthropology class and enjoyed it. Patty Skunk, yeah, I love it. I love it. Definitely as I've gotten older, it's a big win. Big fan. Oh, we got ads. Oh, ads are over. Good. Okay. Ghostly knows. Never. Ghostly does not subscribe to that. I would like to cancel. You can cancel Ghostly. You don't have to. You can cancel out of that. As a person relatively uneducated in philosophy, when I think of nihilists, I think of Big Lebowski's whole thing about Big Lebowski's thing is kind of making fun of nihilists. Like, or what is it like with the Nazi? It's one of my favorite lines from Big Lebowski. Are those the Nazis? No, Walter, these are nihilists. No, Walter, these men are cowards. It's such a great line. But yeah, we are nihilists. We believe in nothing, Lebowski. We believe in nothing. Yeah. See, this is why, because like nihilism that's also a cartoon caricature of nihilists. Because the idea is we believe in nothing. We believe in nothing. Nothing. It's not so much nihilism isn't that you don't believe in anything really. That's part of the joke. Is that it's that it functionally is that all things are equal in that they are not inherently meaningful. That there's nihilism. The reason why you see nihilism talked about in a lot of Christian doctrine is because nihilism is a philosophical repercussion of what they call is the death of God. Or if you remove God from the metaphysical worldview of the world, where does value at its core? Value, then ethic, then morality, then ethic. Where does that come from if not from a deity? So that's where the idea comes from. And then navigating that is it was considered a crisis in 18th century philosophy of, okay, well, how do you argue anything is moral or immoral, or what anything means, or how the universe is ordered if there is no God? And so then that became a sort of thing. And so Nietzsche, it was a topic of the 18th century, and Nietzsche really dove deep into that topic. So did Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer comes out with a very different view of the world, which is called If you've ever watched the first episode of True Detective, the shit that Rusty Cole is talking about, that's Schopenhauer. Like, we should go hand in hand into extinction. I think that the best thing for the human race is to deny its programming and stop reproducing, and that human consciousness is a fundamental mistake of evolution. That's Schopenhauer. that's the type of Schopenhauer nihilism you see. It's 8 p.m. and Ghostly is still living. Ghostly is staying up late. I was like, yeah, you are up late. I mean, we're not going to go too much longer. We're probably going to wrap up stream here in a short bit. I could stream all night if I start babbling to everybody about philosophy, but nobody needs that. Nobody. I just got my degree in it. It's not like I'm an expert, but I can go now. If you want me to talk about nihilism, Christianity, colonialism, and Elden Ring, I can definitely do that, because I got a lot to say about Elden Ring and those topics. But nihilism seems akin to embracing the chaos. That's a type of it is a type of nihilism. That would be a type of what Nietzsche calls passive nihilism, which is, into a degree, it is an embracement of despair. It is considered life denying, which is essentially all things should devolve back into nothing. Like, all there is nothing. We should deep embrace that there is nothing, and that the best thing for all of us is essentially to all mesh back into the singular unity, or the denial of consciousness, or just essentially life denying, the denial of life, and life as a phenomenon, as essentially not engaging with life on its terms. That's the true hipster awakening. Sir, what was that accent? Sir, what was that accent on expert or something? Yeah, that was something, yeah. I am an expert. Yeah. Gotta love the hipster life, apparently. But I do have there's a reason why I've got my little basic writings of Nietzsche from college here that I do consult many times. He's definitely, I will tell you this, he's one of the best philosophers to read. He's the most entertaining, because a lot of philosophers can't write at all, and everything they write is deeply boring. And Nietzsche's actually a fun time. Oh my god, why did Tort just say no? Did Opera Soria destroy yeah, did Tort, is Tort okay? To boil down how Ghostly views the world from a raw standpoint is to strive to achieve something bigger than yourself, is to spend your days trying to cement your name with water on concrete. Nothing we as people do will stick around in the grand scheme of things. The human race lacks humility en masse, and I think the acceptance that we are dying stars and can only control what we do with these hands, I think, would be much simpler. I mean, that's not necessarily a total, yeah, that's not a life denying thing, I'd say. That's more of there is, yes, the futility of the sort of one live. I mean, because that mentality, a lot of the mentality comes from an older world where you only lived on in your deeds, and if people talked about that was kind of a way of living forever. That was actually seen as an afterlife in a lot of ways. Was if people, it's sort of like keeping you in the heart, is like if they kept talking about you in theory lived forever through them. But obviously you see that taken to the degrees of these monuments built in hubris to carry on, so that we all remember the grandeur and the greatness of what you do. And yes, all things in time dissolve into sand. the creations of time are subject itself to time and will fade away. That is, yeah. These are definitely, these are definitely a whole. I mean, these are to a degree, I guess they're nihilistic, in a well, I mean, according to Nietzsche, everything is nihilistic. It's just what type of nihilism you're talking about. But like, it was like, did Ghostly, Ghostly, did you just make Tort like? I think Ghostly's philosophy espousing like broke Tort. Yeah, right, Cryptid. We need to change topics. Tort can't take it. I think Tort might have just had a stroke. Did Tort die? Wait, let me see if Tort died. No, okay, Tort's fine. Professoria. I haven't needed to check Tort twice in one stream before, but as someone who also enjoys testing and analysis, I can't fault Tort for testing my patience. What again? Ah, that's amazing. Okay, so I wonder why Tort said no. Maybe was Ghostly's thing too long? Did that like freak Tort out? That's very interesting. But I don't think that's a very normal take. Like it's a very normal broad philosophy, Ghostly. Definitely would agree with the humility part of it because you know what wrought man with these hands other than what he the mechanisms of destruction that he makes. But yeah, it's interesting. It's I mean you're if you start talking about everything dissolving in time and sand, you're gonna start like hitting into like my happy place, which is all like the Buddhist bullshit. Because I definitely my focus was comparative philosophy, so I have a lot of like Buddhist bullshit I can start whipping out. But that's definitely in line there. The lack of control, and the fact that all things fade in time. Impermanence is a fundamental nature of the universe. At least that's the Buddha. The Buddhist argument is that impermanence is fundamental. That nothing lasts. By everything is interdependent and lasts. It's a core fundamental philosophical structure of Buddhist thought. Ghostly does not believe in an afterlife. Ghostly does believe in an afterlife. So that probably why she doesn't care about leaving her mark. Forget me not. I was passing ship, and she accepts with open arms that the ripples will fade. And that will be so. That I will say that to a degree would be considered passive nihilism by Nietzsche. Um, that is a Nietzsche would probably classify that as an argument for passive nihilism. Tort is mad at me. No, I'm not sure what happened. He is a trigger, but I don't see it in Ghostly's message. Oh yeah, I don't see it because I remember you did that when you did a command and Tort went no. Exactly. No, I'm not. I was too out of character. I'll slap on the character. I hold on. Exactly, Ghostly. He's like, hold on, wait, let me get back into Virgil, my love. Yeah. Yeah. You can't be serious, Ghostly. Apparently, Tort will not allow you to not be a cartoon character. uh, can't say I know much about Buddhism, but I did enjoy Siddhartha. Oh, the book by Herman Hesse. It's a good book. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the product of my upbringing. Very early on, I think led me eastward pretty quickly. My interest in the East, not so much Eastern religions. I mean, I always thought Shinto was cool, just because I like I mean, because Shinto's so similar to other like folk magic traditions, or like where everything has a spirit and that kind of thing. But I wasn't so interested into Eastern religions, but Eastern philosophy I got into very quickly, and I kind of attribute that to my upbringing being very junkyard, having like a smorgasbord of influences that everybody was saying this is what the world and the cosmos is, and I was just like, well, you're all saying radically weird stuff and doing radically different things, so I'm gonna go figure this out. And of course, I guess I went east. Um, What a trip this has been. Have you enjoyed your birthday stream? It's yeah, yeah. I get to hang out. I enjoy all of you. You're all lovely folks. So yeah, of course, it's been nice. I definitely feel like I've chatted the most than I ever have chatted. So, you know, it's kind of an ask me anything stream. So yeah, you all got a little bit. We dabbled in everything, from screenwriting to movies to pop culture to politics to religion. You know, and the best thing we can all be, the best thing we can all learn is it's all fluid, man. It is all. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow and follow the river in whatever weird direction it goes. But I think we might slow it down. We might slow it down. I think we might wrap stream up here. It's been about 3 hours. We've hung out. We've had a good time. I am sweating a little bit. In Ghostly, yeah, exactly. Ghostly has a contract. Yep. Ghostly is now beholden to a contract that Ghostly is absolutely not beholden to. We did. Proud of y'all for doing all the chat. Yeah, thank you so much. Encrypted, yes, please go rest up and try. Whitelight has a contract with your name on it. Exactly. Difference. My name, I didn't sign. I don't know, Ghostly. It's right here. I'm just going to move the birthday card signature over. I don't know what you're talking about. It seems like you were in right sound and mind when you signed that contract, Ghostly. I think it would be in violation of your contractual... Anyway. I'll stop sounding like a terrible impression of a southern landowner. Don't you dare move my secret sigil. Yeah, exactly. Sir, you put that accent away. Yeah, do my best terrible southern plantation owner soundtrack. You did physically sign that. Oh, thank you so much, Patio Skunk. Jeez Louise, thank you so much. And it's been great. Thank you for hanging out and just chatting with us instead of getting writing done. So thank you so much. It's been fun. We'll do more of these. We'll do more just hangouts and chats. But with that, I did not get water on any of the breaks because I've just been yapping the whole time. I put my secret mistake. It matches your mustache, to be fair. Thank you. Put that away. I'm telling you, this is really just me continuing my pitch for Ghostly to make me the evil capitalist landowner. I'm like, come on, man. I got the snot. I can literally twiddle my mustache like a villain. You know? I was too young, dumb, and pretty to think not to sign something. And look what look what it has wrought, Ghostly. What has it wrought? Twilight, please go hydrate. I will try. Yes, please go relax, Cryptid. I know you're getting through really not feeling well. And Ghostly, you probably should go to bed. It seems like you are up late for your time. But for everybody else out there, whoa. My God, someone's going fucking crazy. Oh my God. Well, good Lord. Anonymous, holy shit. I don't know who the fuck just did that, but that is bonkers. Good Lord. All right. Yeah, geez Louise. I don't even know who did that, but, well, thanks all. And whoever did that, thank you for the gift sub, Anonymous. Whoever Anonymous might be. And keep up the good work going after those Scientology folks. But anyway, I digress. But thank you so much. I love you all. You have all been the best. This has been a lovely birthday stream. I wonder. Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much. And the card is absolutely made my day. Thank you so much. And I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And we will catch up next week, where we will be back and doing the words and getting words done and hopefully continue being a lovely community where we help each other out, we cheer each other on, and we do everything we can to make sure that we know that it's hard work we're doing, but it's important. And we need all the help we can get. So I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you next time. Adios, everybody.